Good afternoon. It really is the perfect setting for an absolute epic. We had one of those at the Gaelic Grounds 12 months ago. Even it was far from flawless. Maybe that was part of the charm. Both Cork and Limerick have lost a couple of legends since then. And yet, come 2 o'clock, we can still expect the unexpected.
Limerick join the elite of hurling. Now they'll talk about a new Cork team that shattered Limerick's dream to 5 in a row.
There was a Páirc won just every trophy for a few years, but we always would have felt even around that time, like if we can somehow play to the potential we had, there wouldn't be a whole pile in it. Like,
you were the one team that we were kind of had all the questions about. With the round robin, then obviously ended up playing each other so often, like, and they were seeing long battles the whole time, like.
What a night down here in Cork.
That was happening now. In fairness, it was.
I don't know how we done it, but Pat Ryan convinced us we were going to win. By the time the 2 weeks ended, we were kind of going, I think he could be right here, like, forgetting like that we had lost our first two, like, you know. That was a massive deal for us, like, you would have wanted to knock us out, like, you know.
Cork have beaten Limerick in their own backyard.
Was it 2-1 to Cork in terms of Munster finals?
Even enough, we'll take the rest now.
And he's missed it completely.
The Munster final last year was one of the hardest experiences ever, like, you know,
all
we all want to win, like.
I think the drive, like, to be perfect is crazy what it does to you, like.
Torture, like, it's not something I want to look back on at all. I hope it doesn't go to penalties this year. I hope it's done in normal time. The abuse and dissent will be unbelievable.
This has been one of the greatest games of all time. Marty, it's crazy.
It's literally blinding speed. Like, if you take time to think on the ball for, I won't even say a half a second, because that's too long. Like a fraction, you're going to be dispossessed.
The two teams are ravenous, like.
Cork are on the line. Stalemate. Who has their slipper? This is unbelievable.
I thought I was going to get a heart attack over the line. I couldn't believe the noise that was coming off the stand.
But in the crowd, like, it comes back to the passion of the supporters.
There's nothing like it, because you have this thing in your head like that. I have to be on my game. There's going to be like 45,000 people here. Last year, say, it's kind of like we have to give it everything, probably so much so that it can cost us both. But if someone told me in the morning it'll cost you again, you'd do the same again, like, just because of that rivalry that was building. Like, there's going to be nothing in it again, like.
And now, a year on, Cork have a new boss, but 10 of the same starters who took to the Gaelic Grounds field 12 months ago. No Darragh Fitzgibbon, though, despite his unexpected inclusion on the standby list. He has not been bumped up to the matchday panel, so the Rebels will need to find a hero from elsewhere. They do have plenty of contenders. And so do their opponents. Limerick have plenty of motivation as well. John Kiley's winning streak in finals ended in that odd fashion last year. Now his team look to become the first from the county to win a Munster title by beating Cork in Chaoimh. And perhaps crucially, they have a man in their forward line who wasn't available on their trip here a few weeks ago. This fixture sure has a lot to live up to. The 2026 Munster hurling final between Cork and Limerick throws in at 2 o'clock. Our first and very windy location of the day is rooftop here in Páirc, and that's not just so that we can keep our Sunday game debutant Seamus Flanagan safe from the Cork fans. Seamus alongside Liam and Donal Óg for this Munster hurling final. Seamus, we've seen Limerick Clare epics in the past. We saw what happened last year down in the Gaelic Grounds. What is this rivalry like? What is this day like?
Well, Joan, first of all, I suppose this day, it's such an awesome day. It's the word I'd use, awesome, to be involved in. I suppose it's such a spectacle, and you look at it, it's not, I suppose the build-up to it, it's not just the hurling, the fans get the full experience down here. It was always one of my favourite places to come, just the atmosphere that the Cork fans brings, and I suppose over recent times then, everything that's come with it, the rivalry that's come, how nip and tuck it's been, how close the teams are. That's the big thing for me, how close these teams are matched. Over every position, it's just been such a titanic battle, and I'm expecting nothing less today.
Would you be the same? You expecting another titanic one? Because we need it, don't we?
Yeah, I would be expecting a huge battle again. You know, I think the Munster Championship since the round robin has been introduced has been incredible. I mean, the last round, I think there was 2 million spectators that passed through the gates, excluding the COVID year. So it's really bought in. The supporters from all counties have really come behind the Munster round robin championship. But this year, it's been a little bit flat overall, you know, and I think the game of the championship really needs a big one today, and I'd love to see the two teams going at it from the start. And we know what both these teams can produce, so if they produce what they're able to produce, we should be in for a cracking match today.
And despite how the championship has gone so far this year. I mean, there are some of the best players possibly we'll ever see in action today, are there not?
Yeah, absolutely, Joanne. I think the Munster final is a game that seems even bigger than the game itself, and it still carries that weight of being a special competition. But the biggest thing for me is the best players. You know, you've got the tribe of Limerick, you've got the tribe of Cork. From that, the best of the players who've grown through all the different levels, and here's where they can try out against the best of the best. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. Of course, the rivalry has been great over the last couple of years and so on, but today is a real test. This is a real game. You'll find out a lot about yourself and the fellas with you in a Munster senior hurling final.
What's it like then, Seamus, when you're in the middle of it? Because Limerick talk about the processes all the time and everything's the same regardless of the match, but when you're coming in on that bus, arriving in here through the sea of red and green, what'll it be like?
Well, I suppose in that instance, Joanne, you're probably trying to zone out from what's going on around you. You'll see there'll be players coming in with headphones in, and I suppose just kind of maybe trying to rethink of what your role is within the team. And I always found that at this time of the day, it's very much left open to the players. There's very little from John and Paul. I suppose what the players are talking about amongst themselves in different positions, and I suppose different plays that they may have throughout. It's very much the onus is on the players, the team, and what's been done in training during the week. Every cause and the plays that they've gone through are all done. It's very much about just locking in now and getting in that zone to go to 70 minutes of battle here with this Cork team.
Sounds like it's still about the processes, right, for Limerick. In the meantime, we're going to head down pitch side. Outside at the moment is Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Yes, great excitement outside Páirc, isn't there, everybody? They're looking forward to this Munster hurling final and a repeat, of course, of last year's final, which not only had extra time but penalties as well. I'm joined by two former stars, TJ Ryan from Limerick and Mark Landers from Cork. Mark Landers, you're outnumbered in your own ground.
The Limerick crowd travelled early this morning, Marty.
They
They sourced the tickets, whatever they got them, they sourced them. But Marty, when Páirc will open up and the ball will be thrown in at 2 o'clock, we'll know where the real crowd are then.
Tell me, first of all, how confident are you? You're without Kieran Joyce, you're without Dara Fitzgibbon, although Dara's named in the extra panel.
Yeah, I suppose, Marty, these Munster finals between Cork and Limerick, we've had this is the second one in the row. We got there over the line last year, I suppose, on penalties just about. But the funny thing, Marty, is today, the last 12 outings, it's 6-5 to Limerick in championship. So we'd be hoping to make it 6-all. I suppose the unfortunate thing from our point of view is that Limerick have 5 All-Irelands and we don't have any. Yeah. So there's a bit of a disparity there. But ultimately, I suppose, I have a feeling that Cork's time is starting to come. I think the introduction of Barry Walsh and William Buckley have been huge, and we're just going to have to get over the lasses of Dara Fitzgibbon and Kieran Joyce and put our trust in the youth like we did in '99.
Well, we shall see. Thank you very much, Mark. We'll have a chat now with TJ Ryan. You remember him? TJ, confidence coming from this side. What about your Limerick side?
There's always confidence in Cork, Marty, to be fair to them. Yeah, I'd be very happy. I think our team is playing really well. We have to write the championship games from the last couple of times we've met these people. Dara Fitzgibbon was a man in the match the last 2 times we played. He is definitely a big loss. Our panel is fully loaded. I like the way our team is set up. And
your team is the same as the played against Tipperary. Keane Lynch is back. You have a literally strong squad.
Yeah, strong 20. John has got all the players back in the zone, all playing really, really well, getting good scores. For me, Marty, the 2 best teams in the country, Munster final is a huge day. We want Mick Mackey and we want to bring him back home.
We are really looking forward to this Munster final. One of the great Cork supporters has just arrived. He's just said that Mick Mackey is still in Cork. Anyway, we look forward to a great game. They've come from Offaly, they come from Roscommon, they've come from all over the country just to be here in Páirc. We'll be right back after the break.
Air.
It may be wet and windy at Páirc, but it is absolutely buzzing. The teams are late to make their way out onto the pitch, and there has also been a late change to one of the sides. Let's get team news now with Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Let's start with the Cork hurling team. The Cork goalkeeper is Patrick Collins, who's been first choice keeper for the Rebels since 2021 when he made his championship debut against Limerick. Damien Cahalane has been wearing the fullback jersey in the absence of the injured Kieran Joyce. His clash with Limerick's full forward Aidan O'Connor, although that could be now Shane O'Brien, could have bearing on this Munster final. Niall O'Leary and Sean O'Donoghue are in the corners. The Cork captain Robert Downey is a pivotal player at centre back. He has his brother Owen to his right and Mark Coleman to his left in what is essentially a strong half-back line. In the absence of Cork captain Darragh Fitzgibbon, Tim O'Mahony is joined by Middleton's Tommy O'Connor, what is still a powerful centre-field combination. Shane Barrett is an inspirational player at centre-forward. His speed and accuracy will test Limerick, who will also have to deal with the skillful trickery and magic that Barry Walsh and Diarmuid Healy can provide. Brian Hayes from the St Finbarr's Club is named a full forward, with Alan Connolly at 13, and one of the stars of the 2026 Championship, William Buckley, at top of the left. Defenders Ger Millerick, Cormac O'Brien and Micheál Mullins are on the bench, while Alan Walsh, Shane Kingston, Seamus Harnedy are forwards that could make an impact if needed. Let's take a look at Limerick. Nicky Quaid is a brilliant goalkeeper, and once again this season he's been inspiration. He'll be celebrating his 37th birthday on Friday. If you thought the Cork full forward line was good, then take a look at the Limerick full back line. Sean Finn, Dan Morrissey, Barry Nash have been outstanding and given incredible service to their county. William O'Donoghue is an intimidating and powerful figure at 6, but look who his wingmen are. Diarmuid Burns and Kyle Hayes. Patrick Swellman is the smallest of the three at 6'4". Adam English is not starting. Shane O'Brien is going to get the nod, and I don't think he's going to play there, to be honest with you. He'll probably go full forward. But the other news is, of course, that Darragh Donovan will play, as always, at number 9. Hurler of the Year, not once but twice, Cian Lynch will lead Limerick into this Munster final from centre forward. Gerard Hegarty and Cathal O'Neill will wear 10 and 12, and both have the potential to be match winners. And if that wasn't enough problems or headaches for Cork to be thinking about, here's the Limerick full forward line of Aaron Gillan, Aidan O'Connor and Peter Casey. The Limerick bench includes Mike Casey, Colin Coughlin, Matthew Fitzgerald if needed in the backs, while up front Tom Morrissey, Donnacha Dawlig and David Reedy are serious options for their manager John Kyney.
A sad week in the county, a legend gone.
Condolences to all involved in the Glyn Hurling and Football Club, and to the Coughlan family in general. Stalwart to Cork J gone, and hopefully we'll be able to do something about it there from today.
A legend, and you're, I suppose, trying to make new legends as you go on as well. How are you feeling about today, Ben? I suppose there's a couple of guys gone with injury, key players, but are you happy the squad is strong enough then to contend with those losses?
Yeah, look, they're all training since last November, so when some fella goes out, it's next man in, and that's the way we've been operating all year. Disappointed for Darragh and for Joycey and for Dickie as well, but look, it is what it is. We've just get on with it. There's a great occasion outside here, and we're hoping to put our best foot forward.
Ben, you know each other inside out. Final question for you. What's the key to today?
Yeah, I suppose who's going to win the 50-50 battles. Look, it's a bit drizzly out there. There's a strong breeze out there, so it's going to be down to who will win the dirty ball and who will win them 50-50 battles. And look, hopefully at the end of the day, our boys will come out on top of there.
Listen, we're looking forward to it. Number one, it's an opportunity. You know, it's something that we've always spoken about over the years. You know, give ourselves opportunities, and we'll take some of them. We mightn't take all of them, but we'll take some of them. So it's another opportunity today. An opportunity for us to come down here and really, you know, be at our best and put the greatest challenge we possibly can to Cork and see where it takes us. But you know, I've no doubt it'll be one of those games that'll ebb and flow throughout, and you know, hopefully we'll give ourselves a chance in the last quarter.
Final question then. There won't be an ounce of space out there, I suppose. Is it important to try and maybe come up with a new angle or a new identity even in a game like this, or is it set in stone that the moment the ball is thrown in, it takes on its own life form?
Well, it's the widest pitch in Munster, so of all the pitches in Munster, it has the most space in this ground. It's a fabulous surface here. So listen, any hurler would only just love to be playing out there on that pitch. It's a fantastic space, and it will be condensed at times, I've no doubt, but at the same time I know that the quality is there in both teams, you know, to make those moments happen and to work the ball well, and there'll be some fantastic passages of play hopefully.
Oh, I think there absolutely will be. And listen to the noise as Cork make their way out onto the pitch. They actually haven't won a Munster final here since 2014. Damien Cahalane starting today. He was in action back then. So was Seamus Harnedy, who's on the bench today. Actually, so was Nicky Quaid, who's on the losing side, because it was Limerick they beat in that Munster final here 12 years ago. Seamus Flanagan, Marty, when he was given out that team news, mentioned that Cian Lynch will lead the line from centre forward. But now that we see that change, we'd imagine he probably won't be at 11, will he?
No, and it's something I probably didn't see coming at the start. I thought Adam has had a fantastic championship, albeit I suppose a couple of silly yellows that he's picked up, and maybe that is something that John and Paul have looked at themselves. It looked like he's probably going to sit back into the middle there. You're looking at Aidan probably drifting out and Shane going inside with Aaron. I suppose from Shane's point of view, they saw what he did down here when he was on Damien Cahalane the last time when Kieran Joyce obviously picked up that horrendous injury. So they're probably sniffing blood and they're saying to themselves, okay, from the outset we're going to go for the kill here.
What do you make of it?
That's exactly it. We were just talking about it. Limerick are definitely saying that Cork might handle Gillane inside if he was just that major danger in there. Now we're going to put Shane O'Brien in there and see can we take everybody else outside. It reminds me of the feeling I had leading into the All-Ireland final that this man was played in a couple of years ago. I felt that Limerick's focus was on our full back line and they were going to go after that more than they normally do. Interestingly, this year Limerick have scored 10 goals, Cork have scored 4. Definitely in their brain looking at it, because unless Adam English is injured, and I don't think he is, it's a huge call.
No, it absolutely is a huge call. That piece you saw with Patrick Horgan and Declan Hannon at the very top, you can see the full extended interview, 35 minutes. It's absolutely brilliant on the RT Sport YouTube channel. There are so many nuggets in there, including one from Declan in which he said that Limerick look more on it, more up to the level than they have done in a couple of years' time. And when you talk about Limerick, you look at precision.
Yeah, you know, when they do it and they do it well, they're very, very hard to manage, Joanne. You know, you'd have to have huge admiration for how they go about their business. You can see it here, like the way they orchestrate the puck out. You know, they're all the time covering space and close enough. And, you know, how often do we see Dermot Burns catching the ball out of the sky, takes the 1-2, and straight away he's looking for space, and all the space is inside. Great ball, crossfield ball, which they love in Limerick. And Aidan O'Connor, who's been a revelation in this league, scoring 331. 211 from play. And here we are, Carl English. I think Tommy Walsh referenced that he's like a fella has left on the immersion. He's everywhere, and watch the options he has coming out the field. Dermot Burns out to Tom Morrissey, onto Adam English, who don't even make the starting 15 today. It breaks down a little bit onto Garrod Hegarty. Peter Casey, who will see loads out around the half-forward line today, sees that the Clare have managed to get the cover back on the inside and cover the D, and he just pops a simple point. But like, their ability to go from defence to attack is incredible. And here's the simple things that they do better than anybody else. Garrod Hegarty, simple. Kyle Hayes comes the whole way from wing back, and he back to Garrod Hegarty with a one flick of the ball, and it's over the bar. And the game is only on 40 seconds in the Gaelic grounds. Adam English into the heat map, which is in front of Aaron Gillane. Aaron Gillane has that wonderful step, wonderful turn, and a goal, and they're up and running. And you see John Kiley here, and he's having a good smile for himself, because he knows when Limerick are doing those simple things and the precision at how they do the simple things, they're very, very hard to manage. And he'll love, if he sees some of that today, he could be smiling again.
I know you don't disagree with the precision comment necessarily, but you do have slight disagreements with Liam, don't you?
Yeah, and I suppose it's probably to juxtapose. I picked out a Liam's part. There was no Cork clips in that, because it's funny how Cork set up against Limerick. If you look here, what you have here is Will O'Donoghue is trying to hand off a man. He's reversing into the tackle, and it's the full backline player that's contesting. You know, it's Barry Nash that's going up for that ball. You see here again, Will O'Donoghue, instead of being at 6, he's after handing over. It's Keane now that's filling in that. Will's at the back of the break, but it's the full forward line for Cork that's contesting that ball. We'll see here in the next clip just what the Cork half forward line do. They draw them out. Declan here in this instance, he's drawn out. He's on the 65-yard line. He comes around. Seamus Hardy's disinterested to interested. Deck's facing the wrong way. Look where the ball breaks. Declan's facing the wrong way. The ball comes down. Brian Hayes breaks it. And who's on it? Shane Barrett. Who's off him? Seamus Hardy. Both from the half forward line. It's that disinterested to interested part. Again, coming down on top of Dan Coyle is reversing in. You want your half back line sitting under that ball, positioning themselves to attack that ball. But Cork don't allow that. Cork bring that half forward line, drop them back as that option, and then you have that wave of runners. Shane Barrett again coming off that. So it's that, how I suppose it's that Cork style of play, how they set up against Limerick, and don't allow that precision that Limerick look to, I suppose, for everything that they do.
From the outside, we always believe, and we're always being told, that Limerick don't adjust regardless, that they will play their own game. Do they need to adjust then to Cork?
Well, it's funny, I think Darragh Fitzgibbon being out is a massive loss for Cork, because he's the one player that's nearly that linchpin and that key for that Cork attack. And the way that he plays his game in terms of drifting out and asking that question of Coyle as to whether do I follow or do I stay. When he stays, Darragh Fitzgibbon's there for that ball, and when he follows you, that space inside for your Buckley. So it's a really big argument, and I assume that maybe Diarmuid Healy today might try and play some sort of a similar role, because they got an awful lot of success that in the round robin down here the last day.
You must play to your own strengths. It's been very obvious from Limerick over the last number of years that they want structure. They want to keep that 3 half-back line dominating there. They're depending on their half-forwards, their midfielders. We've seen it with Tony Kelly. It's probably the best example as to the psychology of Limerick. Tony Kelly's so good on the ball, but Limerick, as far as I've seen, have never put a man on him. They've said our structure will defend against one of the best players in the game. From a Cork point of view today, they have to disjoint that Limerick half-back back line, whether it's by making sure that they're getting on the ball, moving them all over the place, or getting that ball, like you described, in over the top and getting in there before the Limerick half-back line can get in there. It's not too dissimilar though. Most teams are playing the game the same way. Cork's had the same challenge today. Limerick are saying we're going to try and get them inside that full-back line. I know that's in their head today. But we've seen Mark Coleman in the Cork half-back line. The game today will be so dependent on them doing their job to make sure the chain is strong.
Well, Brendan Cummins was on Co-Commentary for that epic in the Gaelic grounds last year. He saw so much then. Let's find out what he reckons he's going to be watching this afternoon, because he's on the pitch with Damien.
You're very welcome pitch side, a nice breeze right to left. And Brendan, in the last few weeks, you've just spotted a tactic in hurling that's nearly similar to Gaelic football. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, we all talk about creating space, Damien. It's most of the time creating space inside the 65 when you're attacking. So most teams are only playing 3 up. Cork will have 3 inside today. Limerick will have 2 inside and 1 coming out to the edge of the football D. The whole idea of that, of course, is to make sure that you don't have too many numbers. The thought process sometimes is we'll put 6 back, 6 forwards, 2 midfielders. That's 16 players on that side of the pitch. And the difference is down there, then there's more space.
So, in other words, Rob Downey will sit off, he'll drop back in. Will O'Donoghue will do the same at the other end. What happens then from the respective half-forward lines, Brendan?
Well, the key on restarts especially, you'll see both half-forward lines flooding back to help their defence. What they're doing is they're saying, if we get the breakdown here, if I'm Rob Downey here, I can't go down there after Cian Lynch. So therefore, Cian Lynch is a spare man, and how they used him coming up the pitch is the absolute key. So some of the defenders will have to cheat here today as well, Damien. And what I mean by cheating is that you'll notice as a wing back, God, I can't go up there, so I can't be standing here. I need to go back and support my full back line. And that is the key for both teams for success for me here today. Inside forwards are killers. How do you protect them as best you can is the key.
So with a really congested middle third then on both sides, how are either side getting 40 shots away on goal?
Well, the difference is, you see, if you think about in the middle of the pitch, and the half-backs can't come up against them, so you have a numbers game here. So you probably have 6v8 here in the middle third, and that's why Limerick are so good in the first 10 minutes the last day against Cork. Cork tried to hold their positions, but Limerick tic-tacked around them, then Cork had to come out to meet them, and the game changed. So it's that, I suppose, wing-backs are hoping that their wing forward can beat their opposite man on the other side of the pitch to allow him to sit.
And John Kiley's making the point, this is the widest pitch in Munster, so they're really, really skilled players. They're going to find space somewhere.
Yeah, they are, and that's absolutely it. So I think today, and this is going to be the key battle, I think both half-forward lines are going to meet here in the middle third of the pitch, and it all depends whether Limerick's half-forward line can beat Cork's, and if they can, that allows both their half-back lines to sit that little bit more. And of course, no one wants to play with a sweeper or a +1 and all that, but you have to be prudent, you have to read the game, and both half-back lines today, with the experience they have, should be able to do that, because if the ball goes in 1v1 or 2v2 inside, it's going to be chaos.
So finally, I know from chatting to you then that you give the edge then to the Limerick half-back line in that regard, do you, Brendan?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think that the Limerick half-back line will be supported better by the Limerick half-forward line. You know what I mean? I just think that O'Neill, Lynch and Hegarty will be bigger and stronger and more experienced to win the ball around the middle third, to mark the Cork half-forward line when they need to, and have that little bit more, I suppose, cuteness about them. And that'll be enough to support the half-back line to let them protect the inside line.
OK, a strong breeze blowing down from the Blackrock end. Let's hope the rain stays off. Joanne.
Some chance of that, I reckon, Damien. I know Donal Oak has very strong feelings on that Limerick half-back line as well, but something else, Seamus, I want to pick up that Brendan mentioned there. He talked about Rob Downey sitting back, but in the past we have seen him not even play at 6 when it comes to Limerick.
No, and it seems like you look down through I suppose the last couple of games, the last 4 or 5 games, it's been Rob Downey that's picked up Hego and tracked him wherever he goes. And Limerick are brilliant at that. They vacate a side. It allows Garrod to have 70 yards of space to draw Rob Downey across. But also, just on Brendan's point, if Rob Downey decides to sit, that's a different structure than what Cork are used to. And that takes an awful lot of coordination to get that midfielder to drop back, but also to get your half forward to drop back and pick up there. It takes talk and it takes communication, which is extremely hard on a day like today. When there's such noise, there's such an atmosphere here. To get a message from myself to yourself, Joanne, is difficult at the best of times. So to get that out on the pitch, to have that, unless you're used to that, which Limerick are, when Will sits back, you have Dara filtering back in, you have Aidan filtering from 11, where he actually picks up an awful lot of that loose ball. So it's a structural change, and if Cork aren't used to it, and you're not at the pitch of it here today, it's a dangerous place to try something out.
Oh, it's going to be fascinating to watch what the two sidelines do. One man when we talk about the half-back line, and we talk about so many great players that have won all those All-Irelands alongside Seamus down through the years, there's one man who has been nominated for Hurler of the Year, but you think actually doesn't get nearly enough credit.
Well, we spoke about today and the great players, Joanne, and they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but there's no denying this hurler. Kyle Hayes first emerged on the national stage as an All-Ireland minor finalist full forward in 2016. A year later, he was winning an under-21 title from centre-back. By 2018, he was only 20. He was man of the match in the senior final, young hurler of the year the same year. After that was remarkable consistency, but across multiple positions. That's the difference for me. Full forward, centre-back, centre-forward, wing-back for nearly a decade. Those of us who were lucky enough to have front row seats, and Joanne, we did. We watched that story unfold during COVID. Stadiums like today, full of noise, colour, Munster evenings, All-Ireland Sundays. Through one of the most remarkable team eras the game has ever witnessed. Catches, scores, tackles, those long surging runs. The likes Liam will never forget those surging runs. The ability to influence through a game, defence, attack. Most of us spend a career trying to master one position. He mastered several, and I would say for years, whenever Limerick needed a problem solved, he was so often the answer. But perhaps what stands out the most to me is not the brilliance, it's the dependability. Season after season, big game after big game, always there, always trusted. Last September, this man suffered a serious injury. This evening, he's back playing at a ferocious level. Today, too often, Kyle Hayes is known as a giant in the game. In time, I believe, he'll be remembered as the giant of the game.
Liam, first of all, will not thank you very, very much for some of those you pointed out. But, Liam, we talked to you before about how when you were manager of Tipperary, a lot of your game plan revolved around stopping Cian Lynch and his influence. But we see an awful lot of teams. Do they organise it around keeping the ball away from Kyle Hayes?
Yeah, they do, and you know, I think what Seamus called out there, I mean, certainly when I was analysing Limerick, I always wanted to get their half-back line turned, and I suppose when we did score, we racked up 2-16 in the first half of the 2019 final on the basis that we had a bit of a breeze, we were able to get the puck out short, went long, and we got a few breaks and got a few goals. So but it's hard, and in the second half then, against the breeze, they just lock things down, everybody step back, they bring their midfield back 10-15 yards, their half-back line goes back 10 or 15 yards, and they just, you know, they just take over. So while everybody is trying to do it, it's hard to do, because I think there's a lot of pace in the Cork forward line. I think Cork's pace has the ability to challenge the Limerick defence. But the question is, can they get their hands on the ball? Because their Limerick are notoriously difficult. They stop you from the minute they have the puck out, they're going after you. And that's how it's going to be really interesting to see, because I think Brian Hayes, if he gets ball in deep, he can do damage. But can they get the quality ball in there is the question.
One of the things that's changed over those couple of years between that game that we were at, and Joanne and myself, we were up there watching that game, is Limerick stole a march on everybody else with their athletic capacity. They were a couple of years ahead in terms of training age. That gap now has closed everywhere. And Liam, at half-time, you were so good tactically in that first half, but you just didn't, and everybody felt that, a lot of people probably felt you were going to close it out. But because there was such a difference in that energy, athletic capability, you weren't able to stay the pace. I think those days have changed, that gap has closed.
Okay, we can see the two captains have gone in with James Owens. Throw in not too far away. This is some rivalry, not a new rivalry.
The Munster final of 1976 is on. The shot from McMullen looks a good one. And that fifth point with the man with the beard. And it's Jimmy Barry Murphy. The Munster final is over. Cork are the Munster champions.
This is the day when they really have to do it. Potential is one thing, but in the Munster final, you've got to try and realise that potential. Magnificent save. In there with Tomas Mulcahy without the stick. Has to kick. He's kicked it in.
For Limerick, it's been very hard done by with that goal.
Moment falling on the slow defence. Knocking Captain Corky from the moon.
What an atmosphere. It is quite incredible. To win a Munster medal means so much to these players. Harnedy showing great ability to get away from his man and crush it into the back of the Limerick net. Paddy O'Sullivan and Cork in a second goal. Cork are the champions of Munster hurling. Cork a boo, Rebels a boo, the Rebels are back.
Eyes on the sliotar.
The noise has gone even more through the levels. The players have just taken their places behind the band for the parade. Liam Sheedy, that we somehow haven't really talked about, either Aaron Glad or Brian Hayes at the other end.
Yeah, well, I guess Aaron missed the start of the championship, but I think we got a glimpse of what he could do against Tipperary the last day. I mean, if he gets good ball, he's borderline unmarkable. And Brian Hayes has won 12 gotten this championship to date. You know, he's always been good to get goals. I think the best days of Brian Hayes were the days where they turned over Limerick. You know, he scored 1-4 up there in Croke Park on the day it mattered most. So really interesting to see. I think the question is who gets the quality ball, because both of them are lethal if they get really good ball.
Seamus Flanagan, Dan Morrissey back in at full back. Will he be going straight on to Brian Hayes?
I would assume so. I would assume that Barry Nash would more than likely pick up William Buckley, that will float outside, and Sean Finn will pick up Alan Connolly inside, and that leaves Dan and Brian Hayes, which is probably the best matchup that you can have. Early, he probably has his number, pace-wise, so it's all about that delivery of the ball inside from Cork, from a Cork perspective.
What about from a Cork perspective in keeping Aaron Gillane, regardless of the ball into him, trying to match up with him?
Yeah, look, we've spoken so much about Gillane over the last number of years. I think Sean O'Donoghue has done as well. He's done as well as any Cork player could do. And again today, I think it's going to be critical. He's going to be on Gillane, but it's the support that he gets from the other players, because the likes of Gillane as an inside player, the way the game is now with the new rule, the black card rule, it's nearly impossible to mark someone man for man. We used the word chain earlier on. That's what it's about. It's about the chain working together, all defending.
It's going to be so interesting to see what Shane Barrett does this time round, how Cian Lynch performs, assuming he's in the middle of the field instead of at 11. In one word, who's going to be Munster champions for 2026?
Limerick for me.
Limerick for me.
I think evidence has to go with Limerick. I think home venue nudged it towards Cork. Because I'm outnumbered here, I'm going to go for Cork.
And you're outnumbered with the number of words you use as well. Copplur agus Garmach Montreal RT2, August RT player, August on RT News channel. For us here at Páirc, where the rain is pouring down and the noise is massive, it's Brendan and Marty.
Thank you so much, Joanne. We've been here many times already, but it still whets the appetite, sends a tingle of excitement through our veins, and our heart beats a little bit faster. It's Munster Hurling Final Day, June 7th, 2026, and once again it's Cork against Limerick. Days of the past and heroic stories of Christy Ring and Mick Mackey replaced by 21st century heroes with no capes, but with hurleys and helmets like Cian Lynch, Aaron Gillane, Gerard Hegarty from Shannonside, and Cork Gladiators of the calibre of the Downey brothers from Blackpool, Mark Coleman, Brian Hayes and Alan Connolly in red and white. It's an extraordinary sea of colour. Páirc, wonderful stadium, a ground built on the old Cork Athletic Grounds, opened in 1976 and redeveloped and opened again in 2017. It's also, of course, a mega concert venue. Bruce Springsteen, Prince, U2, Michael Jackson, Oasis, Ed Sheeran, Westlife, Elton John have all performed here. But today it belongs to the hurling people of Munster, the hurling people of Ireland indeed, but especially the people of Cork and Limerick. It's totally sold out. 45,000 people approximately, no seats available. 12 months ago we had extra time and penalties at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. We had drama, joy, tears of heartbreak, depending on whether you were a Shannonsider or a Leesider. Don't expect anything different today. Yes, both teams will still be in the championship, but that's all talk. This is all about the action, the pride, glory, the right to be called Munster champions. On Friday night at this very venue, green was the colour of our country, as Ireland's Amber Barrett scored the winner in the 90th minute against the Netherlands in a FIFA Women's World Cup UEFA qualifier. Will green be the winning colour by 3:30 this afternoon, or will the red of Cork be celebrating back-to-back Munster titles? Listen to the roar of the people of Cork and Limerick in particular. Will we have extra time or penalties, indeed, before this game finishes? Brendan Cummins, your final thoughts before we pause for a moment's silence.
Yeah, look, no doubt it's old school here, Marty, with the rain coming in and all, so it's going to be a classic, hopefully.
Right now we're going to have a moment's silence for the late Dennis Collin, who passed away yesterday. And Glenn Robertson, St. Nick's player from the north side of Cork. He was a real dual star for the Rebels. Normally played wing back or midfield. He won 12 Munster Championship medals across a 17-year inter-county career. He won All-Ireland football medal in 73 and 4 All-Ireland hurling medals, the first in 1970, and was on the 3-in-a-row team of 76, 77 and 78. He was also Texaco Hurler of the Year in 1978 and won 4 All-Stars. And at club level, he won 2 All-Ireland club medals with his beloved Glen Rovers. He's survived by his wife Margaret and his son and 2 daughters. Above all else, Dennis Collin was an absolute gentleman. And today was his birthday. He would have been 81. On behalf of everybody in RT Sport, may I pass on our deepest sympathies to his family and friends. Our Yeshte the Revada. May he rest in peace. The Barrack Street Band here in Cork will now play our Rán na Bhíon. It'll be sung by Sarah Dolan from Limerick. If you love sports, if you love special events, there's no place in the world you'd like to be right now except in Páirc or watching it from the comfort of your kitchen or living room. James Owens is refereeing his second Munster final, the first in 2015. He also did a Munster final in a bit, as he told me, because he came on as a substitute in last year's Munster final when Thomas Walsh got injured. Cian Lynch, as we anticipated, goes to midfield with Darragh Donovan. They all shake hands. James Owens orchestrates that. Limerick won the toss. They're playing from right to left. It's misty, it's cloudy, we were expecting torrential rain, but it's not bad at all. The Munster Hurling Final 2026 is underway. Cork versus Limerick in beautiful Páirc. Going back to gather it there is Tim O'Mahony. He wins a free, and that's going to be a little pull across there, and that's going to be the first opportunity for a little bit of settling of the nerves. Sideline ball coming. Mark Coleman going to take this. Cuts it in well. Jimmer Burns puts up the left hand, gathers it. Uses the right hand to pass it first. Peter Casey. For the middle of the field, he's dropping it in. 4 against 2. Cork seemed to lose it as it was dropping. Gathered by Aaron Gillane. And Aaron Gillane is sending this to the wrong side of the post and wide.
Yeah, it just shows you the strength of the breeze down there, Marty. It started off at the left post where Gillane thought it'd be it. They're playing into the breeze here now, Clare, or Limerick. It's a strong enough breeze too. It looks like a 5 or 6 point breeze. You'll see now from Patrick Collins, long puck out.
And that is a mighty puck out by Patrick Collins. Dropping around the 20-metre line, puts Cork under pressure. Little chip up. Ball bouncing all over the place, gathered ultimately. Great defending by Limerick. Brian Hayes had it momentarily. And Limerick put the pressure on. Ball bouncing all over the place. Cian Lynch is in there. And it's a free for the Shannon Tigers. The ball won by Big Dan Morrissey from Ahan.
Yeah, the tussle himself and Hayes, and there's going to be interesting one. See Dan coming out there. Hayes just clattered into him. Better off in a lot of ways to give the free there than give the counter-attack, and Limerick are away quickly.
William O'Donoghue floating it into the space for Peter Casey, who's operating on the field. Look at the space in fact he's created. Opportunity on its way. Well taken. Peter Casey with his first match, first point of the Munster final of 2026.
Oh, it's Tim O'Mahony chasing back there, pointing for someone else to come to him. They just got caught asleep there a small bit. No better team than Limerick then to punish you for that.
Going a little bit short this time, Patrick Collins gives it to Rob Downey. for Shane Barrett, flicks it on. Far as Dermot Healy, between the 45 and 65. The crowd from Cork at the Blackrock end love it. Sides are level.
Yeah, class score. All came from Patrick Collins finding Downey. They're not going to bomb long balls all day. They're going to try to work it through Barrett as best they can. Great play from Cork, even with the win, just to keep playing their hurling.
Short puck out. Ultimately ends with Aidan O'Connor. Kyle Hayes sending it forward. Nipping in. Nice turn. And away goes Aaron Galan. 20 metre, 13 metre. Paul O'Neill, and a good save by Patrick Collins.
Already Galan is the one getting out in front. He's causing chaos. They're trying to track the runners. Not too sure, Mark Coleman, what he should do. In fairness to Collins, he got out really, really quickly there. Used the elements well. You can see him coming sliding here off the left of the shot. Got his body in the way.
Yet to score in the championship of 2026, Paul O'Neill, but he has registered 14 points. But full credit to the Cork goalkeeper from Ballinhassig. He did well.
He did really well there to get down. As low as he did, you'd know that Colin O'Neill was trying to slip it under him. Big free here now. 65 into the elements. It's nothing simple hitting into those goals now.
Aidan O'Connor had 3 goals and 31 points. 118 from frees on the 65 against the breeze. Never in any doubt. Straight between the posts and over the bar.
Yeah, good clean strike there. He could light with that. Split the post.
Patrick Collins going long as possible. Breaking ball picked up by Shane Barrett. Cork looking dangerous here. Opportunity! And it skips over the crossbar and between the posts. Good score.
Yeah, I was saying here a couple of years ago where the overlap came from was they left, Dudgy went over to the far wing. You can see it here, just grazed over the bar. He went over to the far side, doubled up on Dermot Burns. Kyle Hayes stayed where he was. It'll be interesting to see if Limerick will hold their half-back position on the puck out.
Peter Casey loses the hurley, but he wins a free. Sliding in to gather the slither. Have to say Páirc Chaoimh is in incredible condition considering the rain that was here on Friday. And certainly it's in immaculate condition for this Munster hurling final.
Yeah, down there doing the piece just before the start of the game. It's absolutely class down there. The only thing is when the ball comes in off of Marty, he's going to ping off like a stone off the water. It's going to skip off it, but either way it's just quality considering the rain we've had over the last couple of days.
Aidan O'Connor, last time they met, scored 7 points against Cork. He's already got 1. 3 of those were frees on a 65, so his accuracy has been unquestionable during this championship season. This time he really miscued it well wide of the target, second wide of the match for Limerick. Sides remain level at 2 points each, 6 minutes gone. Funny enough, down at the other end, all the players line up one behind each other, about 8 of them, and then they all spread in different directions as Patrick Collins puts the ball out.
Yeah, the bunch of breakers going on down there, Marty, you're right. There's a spine of Cork players down the middle. Burns is on the one outside, Hayes is on the other outside, but they're leaving gaps everywhere, and this pace of Cork know they can't bomb it high down on top of Dermot Burns and Hayes. So it's a great game of cat and mouse early days here to try to stop off the space to let him run into it.
Obviously a clear strategy by Ben O'Connor.
No doubt about it, Jack, it is, and we knew that coming into the game. They have to change, and they are so far.
Sideline ball again. This time it's going to Cork. Once again, taking the sideline cut will be Mark Coleman. And it's a really good ball, dropping it in. Referee blows the whistle, he's given a penalty. After 7 minutes of play, the high dropping ball, James Owens had no doubt whatsoever. Here it comes. Kyle Hayes all over the other Hayes. Not related by any means. But here, James Owens from out the field. The referee blew the whistle and is given a penalty immediately.
He has a definite penalty. Inside defenders now have to be really careful. There's the Kyle Hayes there. His left hand was over the shoulder. of Hayes in there. It's a penalty, and Mark Coleman looks like he's the man coming up now. They hit it.
Scored a penalty against Waterford, his only score in the championship of 2026. The first player from Blarney to play senior hurling for Cork. Facing Nicky Quaid. Great wing back, brilliant goalkeeper. And it's in the back of the net. And it took an extra special shot to beat Nicky Quaid. 2 goals in the championship goes to the credit of Mark Coleman. Watch this. Bullet line, bottom left-hand corner as we look at it.
Yeah, very hard for goalies, Marty. In fairness, he just dipped it low. That didn't skid off the ground there. Quaid just slept under him there, but there's nothing you can do about that. It's just hit like a missile. See it there, just one little bounce that passes the hurley. It's a great fill-up now for Cork.
Puck out by Nicky Quaid. Dropping down on Carl O'Neill, but Tommy O'Connell was fouling. Disagrees with the referee's decision. I think the referee is correct on this occasion.
He is, Tommy O'Connell was reaching over the top. He's just a bigger guy. He was Cathal O'Neill got on him. He was trying his best to try to stop him getting clean possession. We'll see it here again now. Look at the left hand, pulling back O'Neill's catching hand. There's the referee, whether it's on the edge of the square or 70 yards from goals, that's a free all day long.
Ballybrown's Aidan O'Connor. 1 out of 2 frees successful. The second, of course, was a 65. A little bit further in, as you can see from your TV. And again, it looks like it's going to that far over side to right and wide.
Yeah, Breeze obviously blowing strong into his face. Ball wet, kind of squelches off the hurley and pushes him. Needs to hit, aim for that left post. He'll calibrate.
Mark Coleman goes, Patrick Collins, I should say, goes short. I think he was aiming initially for Mark Coleman, but it went to Sean O'Donoghue. Collins now, outside his own 13-metre line, throwing every muscle he has behind it, but he's just outside the white line, and that's going to be a sideline ball for Limerick.
And you can see already, Marty, Cork don't want to be booming balls down on top of the Limerick defenders. They want to try to find space, find it out around the fringes as best they can. Sometimes it'll go too far out like that, but that's what they're trying to achieve.
Dermot Burns. Gathering is Aidan O'Connor. Laying it off quickly. Limerick built. It's 1 against 1. But the one happens to be Aaron Gillard. Collins comes out. Quick ball. Ends up with Dermot Healy from Liscood. 2 against 2. Brian Hayes will get there before Dan Morrissey. Tries to control it. Cleverly knocks it off the boot of Dan Morrissey. 65 for Cork.
Tried to nutmeg Dan Morrissey down there, I think more like it. In fairness to Hayes, he tried to flick the ball through his leg. You see him here, he knows where Morrissey is, teases him in. Tried to flick it around him there. Good defending from Morrissey.
All-Star 2025, Brian Hayes. Scored something like 6 goals and 9 points in the league campaign. Scored a goal in 12 so far, with the goal coming against Clare. But the quality ball is going into him and William Buckley, I would say, is like, well, test out the Limerick defence.
It will, there's no doubt, but the Cork backs are playing really well, Marty. They're just feeding the ball into the half-forward line as best they can.
Here's Tim O'Mahony's free. Wind assisted. Straight between the posts and over the bar. That's his 5th point of the championship. Ben O'Connor will be pleased with his fellow Newtown Chandra man. Dan Morrissey getting a short puck out from Nicky Quaid. William O'Donoghue from the Páirc. Down Cardiff Way in Limerick City. Patrick Collins says, leave it to me. Damien Callan does exactly that, and again feeds Dermot Healy. Back to Collins. Playing a bit of tennis. Not too sure the Cork crowd like it, but they know what they're doing, the Cork hurlers so far. Little pull of the jersey by Garrod Hegarty. Dermot Healy steps away, and the referee has spotted the infringement, and he's given a free.
Yes, it's Garrod Hegarty for the flick is what he's going to get him for, and fair play to Cork, Marty. In the early stages here, they're being brave. You will hear oohs and ahs in the crowd. They have to do this. Here's Hegarty back. There's the pull. There's the flick that he got the booking for, and that's why he's, let's say, getting a yellow card there from the referee. But they have to be like that, Marty. They have to pull that Limerick half-back line out the pitch, and that's what they're doing. Hayes is inside there with Connolly, 2v2. So they'll see him delivering a few longer balls now in the next couple of minutes when the message goes down to the touchline that the half-back line have pushed up.
think that John Kiley is not happy that his wing forward has picked up a yellow card after just 12 minutes of play. And Tim O'Mahony has the double punishment for Limerick with the easy enough free conceded. Now scores his second point from a free from out the field. From 2 points all, he's now won 4-2. Nicky Quaid with the puck out. Flash of the ash in the middle of Páirc rolled along the surface. William Buckley trying to gather it. Good defending by Limerick. Kyle Hayes, Barry Nash keeps it short. Far as Darragh Donovan. Dunman trying to get away from Barry Walsh. Succeeds. Advantage is the referee. Picked up by Cian Lynch. Advantage now over. Cian Lynch 11 on 11. Barrett on Cian Lynch. Lynch falls. Barrett fouls. Free, says James Owens.
Yeah, James Owens been very consistent, Marty. That pull back with the arm. You see it here again coming in. There's the flick across, but there's the left arm in. Keane was probably on the way down there. It was just before that. And I think the free was given for the...
And the referee has just told the Mayor Ishka to stay off the pitch for Limerick. He was bringing on a towel to try the hurling, but he's not allowing it.
No, it's the second time as well that they've had that conversation over there. Mayor Ishka is lucky he didn't bring it up to the 14 or to 21, but here we are.
Limerick haven't scored since the 4th minute. 10 minutes without a score for the Shannonsiders. Aidan O'Connor keeps a deep breath. He's missed 2. This one is spot on. Normal service has resumed for the Ballybrown man. 4-point game in Páirc. Again, long puck out, wind assisted. Knocked away. Dan Morrissey, Darragh Donovan gathering it. Brian Hayes is there, quick hands, pulled on first time. William O'Donoghue is fouled. There was a moment hesitation, but the referee did give him the free. Let's just watch this again.
Yeah, again, it's not a huge amount, I would say, inside in that. It's just got it tangled up there. Very little play if we're going to blow frees all day for that kind of an incident.
Shane Barrett and company not agreeing with the referee with some of the decisions. I think Limerick will feel the same about the yellow card for Gearóid Hegarty. It's a little bit icky-picky, the referee in the early stages. Here comes Dermot Burns. Hits it, dropping in. Gabbard, the edge of the square! Brilliant goal. Simplicity in motion. Gearóid Hegarty with his second goal of the championship. The first was against Waterford. The second is against Cork in the Munster final. Leaping up into the air, turning around, pulling for his time, and into the back of Patrick Collins' net.
Yeah, Breeze held it up lovely inside there. Cork crowd were oohing and on. That was going wide, but these Limerick supporters are on their feet now. Hegarty did well to finish it, Marty. Nice and tidy, didn't panic.
16 minutes gone. A goal apiece. 1 point between the sides. Dan Morrissey giving it to Darragh Donovan. To Carl O'Neill. Gearóid Hegarty is the target. Double marks at the moment. Mark Coleman picking it up. Has to go back. A little bit brave to bounce the sitter on the hurley. Referee is given the advantage. I think he was going to give a free, but he's given the advantage to Niall O'Leary, who did well. Knocking it down towards William O'Donoghue, the St. Finbarr's man from Toker in the south side of Cork City. Brilliant turn, difficult angle. Can he squeeze it inside the post? Yes, he can. Excellent play, William Buckley.
Limerick are having the stewards inquiry on inside, but this is Buckley's race. There's the step. He's gotten inside, then Sean Finn pulls the trigger. Limerick are adamant that that's wide down there. Very seldom you see Nicky Quaid getting as animated as he is either way. It's gone up on the scoreboard. But did really well inside there, Buckley, because there's 4v2. Limerick looked like they had enough defenders back, but Pace got him on it.
Score stands 1-5 Cork, 1-3 Limerick. Tim O'Mahony blocked somehow by Peter Casey. Lovely pickup. Gearóid Hegarty has the time and the space and the audacity to turn around. Breaking ball picked up by Aidan O'Connor. Looking for support. The call comes from his captain. Cian Lynch takes a couple of steps and hits the slither down towards Cork City.
Yeah, recycled really well on the way back out. He had a pass out from O'Connor there. Cian Lynch had a straightforward job of putting it between the posts, but it's a clever pass getting that opportunity.
1 point between the teams.
Cork have overloaded here on that right half forward position now.
Again, Patrick Collins goes long. Kyle Hayes, all 6'5", leaps up in the air, bats it down. Good work by Tommy O'Connell. Comes far as Dermot Healy. Will it curl? Will it? I think so. It's a thaw. It's a yes.
Yeah, that's class on the puck out there. They got the puck out to ground. Tommy came in on it then, put it over to Dermot Healy. It's a fantastic strike. I know the breeze is behind him, but it's true. Looking at it here, it never moved. Right between the posts.
Nicky Quaid to Dan Morrison. 100% efficiency rate in terms of scoring from Cork. That's not a statistic that you see every day of the week. Great work by Robert Downey. Goes back first, Barry Walsh. Robert Downey loses the possession. Great work by Aidan O'Connor. Sheer work rate, winning the slip of back. Peter Casey inside unmarked is this man, Cian Lynch, but he hit it too strong. And the Garda, Patrick Collins, will escort it out over the end line and wide.
Yeah, Aidan O'Connor did really well to get the turnover. Just a little bit off the wet surface. Here we go again.
Quick puck out. There's no hanging around for a cup of tea here, Brendan. Ball comes down towards the Limerick half-back line. Available is Kyle Hayes. What is it about Cork and Limerick? They always give us sparkling entertainment and good hurling. Long ball over towards Aaron Gallan. Jinks to the right, then goes to the left. Hits it high and hits it wrong side of the post. I think he knew it himself. It is Limerick's 5th wide of the match in the opening 19.5 minutes. Ball rolls on. First Dermot Burns. Shane Barrett unable to control it. Advantage being given to Dermot Burns. Good decision by James Owens. Now what is that? Is that not
a free back?
A free back it is. That's what he's going to do. But you'd have to wonder about Shane O'Brien's, the challenge that was on Shane. Let's just watch this again as the ball dropped in. Is that not the same as what we saw a while ago, Brendan Cummins?
Yeah,
should that not be a penalty?
Yeah, the forward is slightly behind. I think Niall O'Leary will be relieved enough now. It looked like a kind of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other kind of thing down there. But at the same time, any time you were forward going to ground with your arm wrapped around him, even though Shane O'Brien kind of his hand around him as well. Consulted with the umpire there, they both concurred that it's a free.
Free going to be taken. Sean Stack, the linesman from Dublin, indicating where the ball has to be taken.
These again, as we saw the first time, Marty, are dangerous ones if they drop short. Rob Downey, I think, is the man on the line. He needs to be the one coming out, cleaning it out if it does drop in short.
Hurler of the year 2022, Dermot Burns, on his own 65-metre line. Hits it powerfully. Dangerous ball. Big hand. Good work. Robert Downey. Sean O'Donoghue keeps it down the way. Tim O'Mahony drives it long. Brian Hayes, Alan Connolly, all waiting for it. Connolly just going to try and keep it in. It's down at the Blackrock end. He's from Blackrock. And he wins his county at 65. Barry Nash is protesting. But let's look at this again. I think Alan Connolly just got a touch.
Yeah, he did well to flick it back on. It just came off the hurley there of Barry Nash. I know he's protesting there. Just come off just around the grip. So it is 65 and the way Tim O'Mahony's been hitting him. Been going well so far.
First year in charge for Ben O'Connor. John Kiley in his 10th championship season, looking for a little bit more. Ben O'Connor, the cool man along the sideline right now. His side playing well. 21, almost 22 minutes gone. 2 points between the teams. Tim O'Mahony going for his 3rd point of the game. Hits it well. It looks good enough to me. The umpire agrees.
Yeah, you can hear the noise of the strike from up here. It's really true, really solid. The toe of the ball off the hurley. He's in full flow on the freeze.
Tim's 3rd point of the match. 3 points between the teams. Picked up by Owen Downey, surely, off the ground. Not spotted by linesman or referee. Over towards Brian Hayes. Dermot Burns is trying to keep him rather quiet. Here's the call. Cathal O'Neill forced into a half backline position in the opening half. Limerick won the toss, decided to play against the wind. Wind is blowing from left to right as we look at it. Heading over towards the south stand. Darragh Donovan, Cian Lynch, batting it forward. Barry Nash, in a previous life he played wing forward, and that's the reason why. Scored twice against Clare, once against Tipperary, twice an All-Star. It's Barry Nash from South Liberties with his first point in the Munster final.
Yes, and Alan Connolly's running back the switch, remonstrating with everyone around him, going, my man just scored a point, I can't get on the ball. That's what Nash does, though. He's really, really good at that.
Short ball this time. And Cork look a little bit undecided. And Patrick Collins under pressure. He's a fouled, and that's a free out. I have to say, Brendan, I've been just nervous watching them. They're playing it a little bit too close to the heart, and Patrick Collins could have been in serious trouble here.
He could. The idea was really good, but just the execution of the pass put Patrick Collins in the world of bother, and now he's after hitting it out over the line. They're so obsessed, Marty, with trying to get the ball out wide to use their legs that it's a real hard margin of error, small margin of error for Patrick Collins, and your shot there, the ball bounces 5 yards to the sideline and just skips off out over the line.
Sideline ball going to be taken again by Dermot Burns. 5 times an All-Ireland medalist. Hitting it well. Limerick have it. It's Aaron Gallagher. Advantage being given by the referee. Gallagher past the 45, heading towards the D. Taking a little turn. He needs a little bit of support. Cork are there in numbers. Out comes Tommy O'Connell, formerly a wing-back, now midfield in the absence of Darragh Fitzgibbon. Goes long. It's Speedy Gonzalez. It's Shane Barrett bearing down in goal, trying to take a shot. Great work by William O'Donoghue. Gives it, flicks it out for Brian Hayes and Alan Connolly. Sitting into the centre. Look who's here. Taking a shot. Oh, Nicky Quaid! Nicky Quaid! What a man! What a save! What a goalkeeper! It was bound from the back of the net. But Nicky Quaid, at 37 years of age on Friday. Happy birthday, Nicky Quaid. You're still the best goalkeeper in the country.
I'll tell you, happy birthday to the rest of us for being present to see that going on. What a save. That came over the top of Darren Burns' shoulder like a missile. Nicky Quaid only saw that from about 14 yards out. Burns was in his way. Burns fell back. And that man in your shot there just sprung to his right. What an absolutely unbelievable save. But fair play to Dermot Healy there. He was bold enough to have a go. So I'm not tapping this over the bar. I'm here to win. Just a great save.
When you were playing, Brendan, you loved the forwards to be a bit bold, didn't you?
I don't know. It all depended on the forward, Marty, to be honest.
Here comes the 65. And it's on its way again. Tim O'Mahony, 4-pointed again.
Yeah, and at the moment now Shane Barrett is down, just getting a bit of treatment. I'd say in his right ankle, it looks like down there. Here we go again, the ball played back out. Healy coming from deep. There's the shot over Burns' shoulder. And there's the save. Referee's going to hold up play for a second. We're away now again.
Barry Nash. Down towards Cathal O'Neill. Left behind. Tried his best to keep it within the white lines. He's there again. Needs a little flick back, knocked away on this occasion. Sideline ball for Limerick. Sean Stack just indicating where the sideline cut should be taken. Gearóid Hegarty going to take it. Cork crowd celebrate the sideline ball going straight over the line. He'll be disappointed with that. Wonderful player, hurler of the year in 2020.
And Owen Downey's on the far side there. He's remonstrating small, but he wants to get the game moving quickly. Cork are with the breeze here, Marty. 3 points, I don't think will be enough. I've got another 10 or 11 minutes here if we take injury time into account to maybe stretch it out to 6, maybe 7 points. But so far, John Kiley in a lot of ways will be happy enough the way his team is going.
Surely a wind of this strength should be worth the 6-7 point lead minimum. And away goes William Buckley, skipping away from the challenge, hitting it high, hitting it between the posts and over the bar. Second point of the match for the bold William from Tokering, Southside Cork City. 15 points in the journey to this particular match. He scored twice today so far. Barry Nash gone forward, trying to flick it back is Aidan O'Connor. Darragh Donovan saw Shane Barrett arriving. Darragh Donovan spreads it wide over towards Aaron Gallan. Won on this occasion by Sean O'Donoghue. Up fires Dermot Healy, who's playing a very prominent role in this Munster Championship final. Ball down towards Brian Hayes. Gathers it, takes the hit from his opposite number 14. Here comes Tim O'Mahony. Big Tim. Great block down by Sean Finn. The referee blows the whistle and says it's a free for Cork, just outside the day.
Yeah, Brian Hayes was the one there. In fairness to Dermot Healy, looked up. There was 4 or 5 Limerick defenders in there, but Hayes was the man who got on the ball. Tim O'Mahony then comes from deep into the space, draws the free. It's really good, but a big man like Brian Hayes inside there is the absolute key, Marty, to everything. You can just hit it in there, he'll win the contest, and then the supporting runs come. Ben O'Connor's below, laying down a marker there with John Kiley. Kiley wants to shake hands, I'm not sure he's going to get one back.
Ben O'Connor and John Kiley having their own altercation along the sideline. The tension is palpable, and we only have 28.5 minutes gone. This is what the Munster Championship is all about, as Alan Connolly gets his first point of the final. Passions running a little bit high. William O'Donoghue. Good play. Niall O'Leary is doing well. Flicked it back. Another flick required. Good wrist work. Shane Barrett. Lovely. 1, 2 and 3. Barrett takes the shot. Ball is going to be indicated to the left and wide. Now, believe it or not, we have 29 minutes and 16 seconds, and that is Cork's first wide of the game. Gerard Hegarty. Oh, beautifully caught out of the sky by Robert Downey. Sends it back. Has it got the target? Oh, my word. Robert Downey, take a bow. It's not often Gerard Hegarty is beaten for height. Look at that. Slither, Raider-like, down to big Robert Downey from Glen Rovers. And then he hit an absolute magnificent point. Now that's leadership.
Yeah, real statement score, Marty, it has to be said. Really, really good. You hear the Cork supporters getting behind that one.
111 to 1-5. Sideline. Good. He did actually keep it in. As the ball comes back outside, Cork, good work by Aaron Gallan. They play a bit of football in Patrick's well. And that's going to be a free. Pitcher's telling the story. Referee indicating there was an infringement.
We're just waiting on the pitcher to tell the story. Here's Gallan. He's dragging back the arm of Sean O'Donoghue. He's saying that Donoghue pulled the hurley out of Gallan's hand, I think, is probably what James Owens is saying. But before that, Gallan was definitely tugging at O'Donoghue. Two of them are having a great tussle inside there. So far, Donoghue has been coming out on top.
Haven't scored from the last 7 minutes. Aidan O'Connor registered 2 points so far. Should be well within his range. Goes over the red spot here in the goalpost, and that makes it a 5-point game again. Cork won 11, Limerick won 6. That's our arena. That is Páirc with the banks of the River Lee all there in the background.
And if you look up at the top part of your screen there, you can see that spine of Cork forwards trying to explode into the space like this, but they've mistimed it again.
Beautifully caught by Dermot Barks. His arm was being held back. It's going to be a free for the Shannonsiders.
Again, Burns was no one really near him there. There's the Tim O'Mahony. It's very hard to stop a guy coming out. This is another one of those famous dangerous ones there, Rob Downey. Oh, they're going quick.
Carl O'Neill. Good block down. Look where William Buckley is. Carl O'Neill getting away from the shackles of the Cork defence. Makes an angle for himself and hits a beauty. It's his first score in this Munster final, but it's a real classy one because he had to work so hard for it.
He did into the breeze as well, Marty. It's really, really tricky. Limerick supporters now around the start, starting to get going again. They need to win this puck out.
Again, Patrick Collins drops it down into D. Runs on. Dan Morrissey is in there. Limerick have it. Kyle Hayes is the available number 7. Even more available. This man, Slither just hitting a little bit too hard. Good work by Robert Downey. Carl O'Neill has picked up an injury in the process. The referee has blown his whistle and he's given a free. I think it's
he stopped play. I think it's Colin O'Neill's hamstring, Marty. I think
it's
is the issue.
hamstring. Yeah,
it is.
No, it wasn't a foul by Robert Downey. They just went for the ball. That was my initial view anyway.
You know, I think that James Owen stopped the game and he thought it might have been a head injury. It's just a muscle injury. It didn't look good at all the way. It's one of those ones where it's like a sniper in the stand. You just pull up all of a sudden.
Let's just have a look at this again as Carl O'Neill, the Slither just passed him. But off camera, he limped immediately and fell down.
Yeah, he did. He might be all right if he's surprised. He's surprised
He's all right.
The way he stopped, yeah, amazing.
That's good.
Maybe it could be lower on his ankle or something, God knows, but thankfully from a Limerick point of view he looks fit to continue. Indirect free now for Cork.
Relief for Carl O'Neill and indeed for his supporters, because it looked like a hamstring, didn't it, Brendan?
Yeah, it did. Look, didn't do my medical exams obviously, Marty, but I know.
Just got for his first year, I think, Brendan.
Yeah.
Tim O'Mahony sending it down towards William Buckley. Again, it carries too much pace. Is it kept in? It is by William. And Limerick come away with it. Kyle Hayes trying to get past Barry Walsh. Gerard Hegarty. First touch. Oh, beautiful. Shane O'Brien. Now can he finish it? It deserves a score. Is it over the bar? It is. One of the classiest scores you're going to see in any championship game. Or look at this. Didn't touch it, just grabbed it there. Little shimmy afterwards, and he hit the slipper between the posts down at the city end.
Yeah, so big and strong. Look, he knows the defenders behind him. In fairness to Niall O'Leary, he's doing all he can. He just doesn't go at the hand. Just decides then I'll take a step inside Callahan and just pop it over the bar.
Shane O'Brien, wonderful. Tom Morrissey has been introduced for Carl O'Neill. Two minutes of additional time is going to be added on. But I just think of Limerick and Kilmallock when you think of all the All-Stars they've had over the years. Mike Houlihan, Graham Mulcahy, Andrew Shaughnessy, Paddy Kelly, Davy Clark, all great hurlers. And Shane O'Brien continuing that on. It's O'Brien that has the ball. He lays it off quickly. Farris Keane Lynch just inside the Cork 45. Is that going wide? It is.
Yeah, Cork are going short now because down the other end of the pitch Limerick have set up. The last couple of long poke outs haven't worked out well for them. They're trying to go quicker now.
Patrick Collins again goes long. 2 minutes of additional time. We're into injury time as it is. Short ball for Gerard Hegarty. Just about had the time to gather it before Shane Barrett arrived. Lovely stick work. Still, the stick work. It's cheeky. You have to love it. Gives it far as Darragh Donovan. Ball into the space. Aaron Gallan is arriving. Doubly marked at the moment. Great block down. Still tries to get through the Cork sandwich. Succeeds. That's the challenge by Sean O'Donoghue on Peter Casey. And that's, I'm sure, going to be a booking for the left corner back from this Inniscarra.
It is, and that's why Gallan is so good. That's why his value to team is absolutely vital. He was in there, outnumbered, got on the ball, it was blocked, still won it the second time. 2 Limerick defenders in his back, didn't give it away, didn't leave it fall out of his hand. Finds Casey with it, engineers the free. Plus, I think it was Sean O'Donoghue got booked in that engagement as well, so he's marking Gallan, so now he knows the fella he's marking is on a booking as well.
Aidan O'Connor going to take this. Got his confidence back with 3 points in a row. Takes a deep breath. Hits this well. Over the bar. 4th point of the match for him. We've reached the 37 minute. 2 points between the teams. Patrick Collins gets the signal from James Owens. And listen to the applause and the roars of the people of Cork and Limerick. They've been really enjoying this Munster final, highlighted by one magnificent save by Nicky Quaid. but we've seen tremendous wrist work, some great scores, 2 cracking goals, and overall they've been level twice. Plenty to talk about in the dressing room in Páirc, plenty to talk amongst the audience, plenty to talk with our panel and Joanne. Half time in Páirc, Cork 1 goal 11 points, Limerick 1 goal 9.
Munster final, and the defending champions got off to a bit of a controversial but flying start. Cork establishing control against those old rivals Limerick, but Limerick have won so many of these titles, including 6 in a row up until last year. They got back into it. No love lost either between the two managers. Just 2 points in it at the break, but Cork did have a fairly sizable breeze advantage in that opening half. But they didn't hit a wide until the 29th minute. So Donald, what does that tell you?
Well, I think it was a very enjoyable first half. Cagey, definitely, but the type of tension that you would expect between these rivals. I think Cork will be happy with their use of ball. They've had less possession than Limerick, but they've been more efficient. But I think, to your point, it definitely feels more like a 2-point wind that's blowing down the field. Having said that, the way the game is different nowadays, there's less of a dependability or a dependence on the wind.
And strange things do happen when these two meet, Liam. We had 1 penalty given today. Could we have had another one given as well, or perhaps should we have had none given at all?
Yeah, I think they're marginal calls. I mean, the art of attackers have learned how to lean in a little bit. And, you know, I was surprised actually that Kyle Hayes ended up being the man in there as opposed to Dan Morrissey. Dan is the man assumed Brian Hayes. But you can see Kyle here, he leaves the arm in, then takes it away. So by letter of the law, you know, you couldn't really have an argument. It is a marginal call, but in fairness to Mark Coleman, he makes no mistake. So the marginal call went with Cork. You'd have to say on the second one, it's a similar example in my eyes. Niall O'Leary, again, you have Shane O'Brien leaning in and falling back, and you've Niall O'Leary, but you'll see the positioning of the hand again. The hand is in across, and then he takes the hand back out. To me, I think there's an inconsistency from both ends of the field. To me, it's either no penalty or 2 penalties.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I was watching. That was Barry Nash, who actually, for some reason, was on Hayes, and that's how it changed. It wouldn't be the ideal change, I'd say, from a Limerick point of view, but they definitely wanted Nash off him at that stage. I think that it's, you see, if you look at the Peter Casey incident, right, in terms of, I think there was a yellow card, Cork got a yellow card. Peter Casey pulls the Cork defender down in that situation. So, like, it's so fine margins that the referee is operating off of, and because the tackle is so ill-defined in our game, it's sometimes.
But what are the penalties?
I think if you were giving one for the first penalty, I think you have to give the second one for that, because you need consistency more than that. But how many times, especially on Hayes is constantly being pulled and dragged by defenders because of his size and so on. Many times we haven't seen penalties given for
He's not the only, sorry, Chaoimh, he's not the only big lad out there. Gerard Hegarty also picked up an early yellow. Was his goal really important for Limerick?
Oh, it was so important, Joanne, because if you look here on a given day like today, when there's such rain blowing and there's such a breeze and dropping ball, but if you look here, I suppose probably the man that's at fault is Owen Downey. Owen Downey's picking up Gerard, you'll see here from the wide angle shot. He loses him on the flight of the ball, expecting it probably to go over. Gerard goes in behind, and then just that flick, that quick flick. If he doesn't hit that straight away, that's getting blocked because Coleman's on it.
How hard is the finish?
That finish is so hard because you have a keeper coming on you, you have a man behind you, but you need to get that shot off so quickly. It's nearly a case of when he's landing, he's striking that ball, and then all it takes is that deftest of touch to get in over the line.
Could have been saved too. I mean, like, Patrick did go to the ground very... I mean, when a player is that close to you, sometimes the instant reaction of a keeper is to go to the ground. Thought he went to the ground a bit quickly because it wasn't a hard shot.
Now, speaking of saves, we saw an absolutely spectacular one from Nicky Quaid out there. You were actually quite angry at Limerick's behalf that it even got to that point.
Yeah, I was trying to picture myself down at the sideline if what had happened beforehand. You know, I mean, here's Aaron Gillan. You know, he's got through. There's the free. He's fouled. I don't think there's a goal chance on. You know, he's now going in. There's three defenders around him. And, you know, James Owens rightfully had taken his hand down. But to me...
Because the 5 seconds were up.
Yeah, but the 5 seconds I would have given the free. I couldn't see a goal chance on. And what transpired, I think, you know, could have been a goal at the other end. You know, again, well defended initially. You know, Shane Barrett is held up well by Will O'Donoghue. Brian Hayes comes out, great pass across. You know, and a great shot by Dudsey. Dudsey's been very busy in the first half.
But what Cork will like about it, Liam, is that they kept their composure. Shane Barrett kept it. It was a brilliant ball. Look at Healy, he's looking for the ball from early days. He knows he's on. Limerick will actually be disappointed with the gap that was between their other players, their players that were meant to be tracking back, and Cork. And I think Cork have done that well in the first half. Take nothing away from Nicky Quaid. I know it's a good height, and actually I'd actually expect Nicky Quaid. He's so good to make that save, but it was still a great save. A day like today, I'd have to say, when you're striking the ball from distance, if I was in goals, I wouldn't want that ball coming along the ground.
OK, we have seen some absolute brilliance so far. We've seen plenty of mistakes as well, but we are looking forward to a big second half. While we wait for Cork and Limerick to come back out for the second half, Seamus, it's really just an excuse to show 3 really good points from Cork in that first half, but they also give us perhaps a little indication of what we can look out for in the second.
Yeah, and I think it's that long ball that they're coming from Páirc Collins. If you see here, when they're coming short, it's going through the lines, it's going out to Rob Downey, Shane Barrett peeling off, and then Diarmuid Healy. Look, he's after creating 5-6 yards of space off of Diarmuid Burns, and a super score off of that. But then you look at the contrast with that, you're looking at that long ball coming in behind that we spoke about beforehand, but it's not contested up here, broken down to Shane Barrett, who else, and then inside, and look how Healy peels off around the corner. But look at the vision here, Brian Hayes never stops. Could have probably been a goal and taps that ball over the bar.
Yeah, but possibly should have been. You enjoy this one, Liam.
Yeah, you know, I just love the way this guy is in. Like, he's not directly underneath the ball, and he just sort of goes in across Gearóid Hegarty. And of all people, Gearóid Hegarty just gets across and plucks it out of the sky. A great score. And at that stage, you felt all the momentum was with Cork. But like, Limerick have gone against the breeze and gone the last 4 scores, like from 1-11 to 1-5 to 1-11 to 1-9. It really has changed the outlook of this game, because there is a strong breeze there.
Do you feel that too, Donald?
Well, I definitely think, like, we're looking at the puck outs there now, it's going to be a huge part. What Cork are depending on, and Seamus showed it really well at the start, is there's a certain amount of chance you're depending on when you're going long. You're looking for that break of the ball to come off. That's not going to be on now in the second half, because Cork aren't going to be able to get the distance with those puck outs. Having been said that, and Liam might be a bit harsh on Páirc Collins, and get your point about him going to ground, but I think the way he faded those puck outs, he deserves great credit for that. And you must be brave. He knows when he goes short, if it gets turned over outside, that half the Cork crowd here, who haven't a clue what they're talking about, will be on his case. But he must stay being brave. And right through the second half, it's critical that he keeps that bravery.
I agree with you, but at the same time, in the long puck out stats in that first half, Cork have gone long 9 times and have won 3. So like those type of returns, so I think Limerick have snuffed them out. 3 times the ball has gone out over the sideline, twice from the puck out, and once from a standalone free. That's not good enough in terms of what you're looking for. He's got to find. I agree with the short ones. It worked once, but equally he was turned over once. And I'm not saying it was Páirc Collins' fault, but that's the risk you got to take as the goalie. But I don't think 3 out of 9 is a stat that you'd be proud of.
I think those numbers, I think you're misinterpreting those, right? Because I guarantee if you look at how many Limerick will hit long, and they mightn't hit as many long, I'd be surprised if the numbers were actually different in terms of return.
Well, the good news is we're about to find out. Brendan and Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. I was thoroughly enjoying the conversation there with you, Joanne, but the teams are back, and just 2 points between the teams. I really don't think a 2-point advantage for Cork, now that they face the wind, will be enough, Brendan. We will talk about that in a moment, as Tim O'Mahony and Cork go back into the attack. It should be a defender's ball, but it's not over yet, as Sean Finn goes back to gather. 4 times in a row, an all-star, sending it down the wing. Up goes Aidan O'Connor, flicking it on for Cian Lynch. Always this third quarter is a period when Limerick step up the gears. Tom Morrissey, Tom from Mahan, brother was at full-back, Tom was a wing forward, and he flicks it between the posts and over the bar.
It was a nice simple pass up the line that opened it up for Tom Morrissey to come down the middle. Cian Lynch obviously gets it, draws the defender in. This is the interesting one now, Marty. Páirc Collins is out to look, and Limerick have a full squeeze on the Cork puck out. They're all gone man for man.
Against the wind, Páirc Collins drops it down between the 45 and 65. Breaking ball. Shane Barrett tries to get a touch to it. Comes back outside, knocked away from Brian Hayes. Gathering it is Dan Morrissey. High challenge by Tim O'Mahony, unnoticed by the referee. Shane O'Brien in turn gets it back and goes long. Rob Downey, oh, beautiful catch. Great play by the centre half back from Glen Rovers. Over far as Sean O'Donoghue, playing well along with Niall O'Leary. Owen Downey sending it up towards Shane Barrett and company. William Buckley is coming out to gather it. Barrett falls, referee blows the whistle. It's a free for Cork, just on the edge of the 40-metre arc that we use in Gaelic football.
Yeah, Sean Finn is the one here that they're saying he came in and nudged him out of the way. Sean Finn had a chat there, but this is the catch from Downey. He's the one that's going to be assigned to sitting back in the left half-back position, cover off that area of the pitch, trying to stop that supply going into Galan, helping Sean O'Donoghue inside there, who done really well in them in the first half.
Alan Connolly, an All-Ireland under-20 medalist back in 2020, scored a goal and 1 goal and 35 points. 26 of those were from frees from Blackrock. Nephew of Tom and Jim Cashman, former Cork stars. The DNA is good, so too is the free. As it was at the break, 2-point advantage for the home side. Ball batted away by Dermot Healy. Did well. Looking around, there's nobody immediately available. Gets the call from Shane Barrett. Had the peripheral vision. Nice ball inside. Lovely ball for Tommy O'Connell. On for his big Brian Hayes. Turning inside. He's inside the large rectangle. He bats it into the back of the net. Cork rejoice. Big Brian Hayes. All the way from St. Finbarr's. All-Star last year. He never, ever gave up. Wimbledon will beckon surely for Brian Hayes after his career.
Well, it came from Dermot Burns, intercepted pass down the line. Dudsey, they got him on the counter-attack inside. Hayes made that angle run. Made no mistake with the batted finish.
It's exactly what Cork wanted when they're facing the breeze in this second half. The referee has blown the whistle. Sean O'Donoghue is disagreeing. I'm not too sure that Sean O'Donoghue is wrong here. Looked a very soft free. Let's look at it again, Brendan.
He's doing it for the hold, and here, just there on the grab is what he's claiming, but I don't think that's a free. I just think it's a battle, but here's the Hayes one again. If that bat, it was really good composure. See him here on his back. Brian Corcoran did it on his knees. Hayes said, I can sit down and do it. It's a great finish. Great finish.
It's his second goal of the championship. Brian Hayes lays down a marker for this second half. Misty rain falling. Strong breeze blowing from left to right in favour of Limerick in this second period. And Aidan O'Connor gets his 5th point of the match and first of the second half. Again, Patrick Collins goes down in front of the south stand here. Brian Hayes got a touch. Nipping in is Cian Lynch. Beautiful stick work as always. Tom Morrissey has the vision to see Aidan O'Connor. Hits it well, but it's tailing to the left and wide. And you could even hear the smack from up here, Brendan. He just didn't connect the slither with the boss of the hurley properly. Quick puck out. Niall O'Leary, Castle linesman. Limerick are there, should be there in numbers. Sean Finn has Nicky Quaid if he wants him. Darragh Donovan, better positioned. Scoops it forward far as Kyle Hayes. Keeping it down the wing. O'Brien. Beautiful. Dummy. Lovely. Here comes the rocket. Patrick Collins did well. But the referee has blown his whistle. He's given the free in.
Yeah, this time it was a free, Marty. He just got inside O'Leary. It's good for young hurlers there. Shane O'Brien doesn't use up his catch too early by Gladstone the hurley. That's why it's just his strength got him away. Here's the pull back again. You can see it there. O'Leary just fell off. It's a good save though from Patrick Collins. Them bouncy ones on the wet surface are hard to get down to.
Great stick work though by Shane O'Brien. Cork introducing Cormac O'Brien. We'll deal with that in a moment as Aidan O'Connor heading down towards the Blackrock end, going to take this free. Half blocked by Sean O'Donoghue, and that is a 65.
Yeah, we're just discussing that at half time there, that the last two frees before the break, he was hitting them very low. Sean O'Donoghue this time jumped. He hadn't jumped in the previous ones. You can see him there. He gets the block on it. He's allowed to do that. He's actually coming off now.
Cormac O'Brien coming on. Cormac is from Newtown Chandrum, same club as his manager, under 20 All-Ireland medalist, and Sean O'Donoghue is getting a rapturous round of applause. Big challenge now though for Cormac O'Brien.
It's just the yellow card. He doesn't look like he's injured or anything like that. Good management from Ben O'Connor if that's the case. Don't put it in jeopardy.
Aidan O'Connor. Subsequent 65 is nailed. 6 points now for the wing forward, full forward from Ballybrown. 3-point game, 2-12, 1-12. And thankfully only 7 minutes gone in the second half. More to come. And Limerick capitalise on this. Aidan O'Connor, Gerard Hegarty's inside. Here comes a shot. Patrick Collins saves and somehow gets it away before Gerard Hegarty arrived. It's not over yet. Tom Morrissey will be satisfied with a point. He taps it over. Point giver a goal for Tom Morrissey from a half.
Yeah, Limerick set the trap lovely. It's a good save from Collins. If managed to get the ball out of danger, but scrambling defence comes back. They'll be happy enough that it's just a point on that. Downey's inside injured the moment he crashed into Patrick Collins. The two of them are on the deck. But again, ball is so slippy, Marty, down there. It's so wet. It's very, very hard to float a ball into a guy's hand over a couple of hurleys that Patrick Collins tried to do there. And Limerick pounced. They're lucky to get away with just a point.
Concern as well for Robert Downey, as you mentioned, Brendan. As Patrick Collins, he collided with his own man. That's what happened. In an effort to save that shot, saving it the first time and getting it ahead of Gerard Hegarty. Collins did well. Ben O'Connor with Ronan Curran discussing, concerned about their keeper.
It's actually been better. I was afraid for Cork, Marty, the start of the second half against the wind and the puck out. It's actually been better because they're forced to run, they're forced to move, and the half-forward line have been really dynamic.
Fully recovered Patrick Collins. Ballon Hassett gets it down towards Shane Barrett. Running on, and his outside is Tim O'Mahony. Into a sea of green and white jerseys. Ball comes out towards Tom Morrissey, knocked away. Picked up by Dermot Healy. On towards Barry Walsh. Barry trying to make an angle, tries to pull the brakes. Runs out of space, the referee has blown his whistle for the chop down.
Yeah, for young Barry Walsh's confidence down there, he'd like to just ping that one over the bar, but at least he was on the advantage.
This was the opportunity again for Barry Walsh. Made his debut against Limerick in the round robin. Former Middleton CBS, now a student in MTU. And Alan Connolly going to take the free. Gets a wipe at the towel, which wasn't allowed in the first half. There's a bit of inconsistency here at various times.
But to be fair to the free takers as well, they should be allowed like this to not delay the game too much. Just get the opportunity to try a hurling ball. These are all vital.
Alan Connolly taps it over the bar for his third point of the match. Nicky Quaid to Dan Morrissey. Down towards Gerard Hegarty. Picked up by Aaron Gillan. And that is left and wide. Not his normal decision making to try a shot from there. Normally they work it around into a better geographical position.
Yeah, he's just trying to get that one ball that goes over the bar to spark him, to ignite him. He's doing not too bad and bringing others into the game, but that shooting piece has just left him down so far.
Throwing every muscle in his body behind the puck out, Patrick Collins. Diarmuid Burns just left it behind him. Picked up instead by Darragh Donovan. Trying to get it away. He's being held, that's a free. Cork protest. James Owens decides it's a free to Limerick.
Yeah, I'm not sure again, Marty. We'll see it here. See Tim O'Mahony follow and watch Tim O'Mahony's left hand there. Just pulls back, yeah. He's pulled back on him there, all right.
Referee is correct.
Yeah. It's just happening so much down there as well, Marty, that it's free after free after free for dragging back. Players will have to get their discipline better. At this stage, they should know James Owens is going to blow for that particular infringement.
This is the Limerick 65-metre line. This is Aidan O'Connor going for his 7th point of the match. Decides to go short for his Jim McBurns. Half blocked by Tim O'Mahony. Did enough. Rob Downey. Patrick Collins. Back to Robert Downey again. There was a nervousness around Páirc Creed. Little hand passing away come Cork. They did well. Up for Shane Barrett. Had to get the first touch. Sideline ball is going. Sean Stack is not too sure, I think. He's giving it to Cork. Jim McBurns protesting. Ben O'Connor, Ronan Curran giving them their perspective on that particular incident. Mark Coleman going to take it.
Mad too for Aidan O'Connor there to go short and free like that, especially where the conditions are down there. Take the free hit at the goals.
Off camera, I can tell you that Adam English is about to be introduced by John Kiley. Nice ball inside by Mark Coleman, runs on. Almost getting a touch was Brian Hayes. Instead it was Barry Nash. Away comes Kyle Hayes. Powerful. And from where the ball landed, there should be a free for Limerick. James Owens stepping away just to have a better perspective. There was the challenge.
Just as he released the ball there, in fairness to me, he was braced for Tim O'Mahony coming in as well. And
Adam English is coming on for Aaron Gillard, which tells its own story. It'll be disappointment for Aaron Gillard. That doesn't happen every day of the week, but he has been previously injured, just coming back. John Kiley gives him a high five as well.
Yeah, it's just the last shot over on the far sideline. I say John Kiley thought that, look, he's trying too hard to get back into this game. I've Adam English behind me. Let's reset.
Jim McBurns. As you can see, he's on his own 65-metre line. Goal just between the teams. Rain falling incessantly. Wind behind his back, and he plants it between the posts.
Aidan O'Connor's gone inside to support Shane O'Brien. And Peter Casey coming out there to top the triangle. So, been a few switches there since Galan has gone off.
Patrick Collins. Again, will drop it down in the 45-metre line. Jim McBurns normally goes cleanly. The road Hegarty. Kyle Hayes driving it in. Patrick Collins deals with it. Cork defenders run into position, but nobody is free because the Limerick forwards chase them. Again, the ball is dropping down that 45-metre line, gathered by Dermot Healy. Dermot Healy, handball like, gets it forward. Kyle Hayes stops it with the referee and given the free.
Dermot Healy did really well here, Marty. Coming in around the back there, Will O'Donoghue gets the ball on the second touch. Here's the free coming in there, Darragh O'Donovan. Dermot's down just a slightly winded there. Well, and Cork will need loads of that now. The next 20-odd minutes or so, plus injury time. Winning puck out, trying to be strong under, getting primary possession. That's the absolute key now. They've been really good in the way they've used the ball. And it's given those lads in the line a bit of head scratching to do as well.
Paul Kinnerk and John Kiley, what a successful, what a brilliant management team they've been for Limerick. They've been outstanding, and they really are thinkers of the game. And right now, they're being forced to think and evaluate where they are. In terms of scoring chances converted, there you have the statistics. 15 out of 17. Limerick, 15 out of 29. 20 minutes to go or thereabouts. Cork leading 213 to 114. Alan Connolly going to take this free. Hits it well. Hits it with conviction. Laced with accuracy. Thank you very much, says Alan Connolly. It's the 4th point of the game. Back to a 3-point game. 2-14, 1-14. 2 points between the teams at half-time. Second goal for Cork coming after 38 minutes. Cian Lynch. Beautiful skill. Aidan O'Connor. Tom Morrison. He's fouled. He got a Cork sandwich outside the 45-metre line. There was no question of even allowing advantage, although Tom kept trying to get the ball away. It's a free to Limerick.
Yeah, it's just a tangle of legs for all the world down there as well. It's so intricate when Cian Lynch gets the ball. He's really, really good at getting away, getting that bounce on the ground that nobody else in hurling would try. Gets on it again and just uses it really well.
Once again, it's Aidan O'Connor. James Owens.
Switch of the ball.
Change of the slipper. One of the oldest tricks in the game.
Yep.
Heading towards the 53rd minute. Back to a 2-point game if Aidan O'Connor puts this between the posts, which he's done.
Goes with the ball, Mark, you would mind an old club match where you could be hitting any kind of an old spud, but down there in a Munster final day, they're all pristine. But here we go again now. They've narrowed the gap.
As it was at half-time. 2 points between these two neighbouring counties battling for the Mick-Mackey Cup. Gathered by Tim O'Mahony, flicking it forward. Nice ball. Mark Coleman, he's already scored a goal. He's going for a second one. Oh, Nicky Quaid. Fantastic save. Iverado. Brilliant. Nicky Quaid. If they win this Munster Championship, I think they owe a lot to Nicky Quaid. They'll be building a monument to him.
They will for sure. That was another great save. Diving to his left this time. Really, really good. The shot came in from Coleman. It was primary possession won again by Tim O'Mahony in the middle. Here's Coleman that on overlap, and he bounced it this time close to the goalkeeper's feet. Did really well. Watch him getting down low.
Great save. Made his debut against Cork at midfield, Nicky Quaid, back in 2010. And he's still producing the magic for his county between the posts. Cork under pressure here. Patrick Collins sends it out to the wing. Tim O'Mahony, unmarked momentarily, keeps it down that northern stand side, trying to gather it. Barry Walsh from Kelly, laying it off to Shane Barrett. Blarney cutting inside, goes left, surely held back. Referee gives the free.
Sorry, Mark. The question here is, Diarmaid Burns is saying that Barrett was holding his hurley as he went through. We'll see it here. He's the arm out there, the arm wrapped around. And you can see Barrett holding on there with his left elbow. It's just these famous dark arts. The Limerick players are remonstrating, obviously. When you go into the tackle like that, you have to let your hand go, but you can't, because if you do, then Barrett goes down the middle and puts it in the net. So
clever play by Shane Barrett, though.
Yes, it is, absolutely, and we're going to see an awful lot of that in the game. It's moving so fast, it's very hard for James Owens to see any of that. But here we are. Good opportunity now.
Alan Connolly. 5th point of the game for him. And I know we mentioned the wind, and we thought at half-time, Brendan, that a 2-point advantage wasn't enough for Cork, but Limerick haven't taken advantage of it either.
No, they haven't, no. It's been very difficult for them to get puck outs away, but they're in front this time now. Turned over.
Damien Carolan to Barry Walsh. 3 Limerick players, make it 4. Kyle Hayes heading down from the northern stand, dropping it in. Patrick Collins has to control it. Knocked away. There's an opportunity here. Limerick, Cork are back there in numbers. Here comes the shot, saved on the line. Great defending by Cork, but just for a moment, there was a real opportunity for Limerick. Cork hearts are fluttering in the misty winds of Leaside. Ball up for William Buckley. William jinking left, jinking right, loses the possession. They're back to Barry Nash. It's flowing from one end to the other. Ball goes out over the end line, and it is a 65 for Cork. From one end to the other, there's drama on the banks of the River Lee. It is the Munster final between the two best teams in the province, Cork and Limerick.
It is, and this is the one they're giving the 65 for. In fairness to Páirc Collins, he didn't want it to bounce, so he had to meet it before it hit the ground, and then Casey comes in, pickpockets him, scrambling defence him here then, Marty. Saved on the line by O'Brien. Here it is. Those are the tricky ones. The ball falls below your knee, but they're onto you in a flash if you're in the goals. Again, they did well to cover defence.
Capacity crowd enjoying every moment. 65 now going to be taken by Tim O'Mahony. He's going for his 5th point of the game. Hits it, comes back off the post. Not a fair shoulder. Since the referee on Alan Connolly's challenge, Blackrock man totally disagrees. Let's have a look at it here.
It's kind of a nudge in the back, but it all depends a lot on too, Marty. We've been up here for loads of games, so that's not giving us a free. It's just giving us hurling, let's go, play away. But today, this is the way it's being repped, and that's the frustration of management on the line as well. See Ben O'Connor's face and his backroom team.
13 minutes to go. Diarmuid Burns lashing it, dropping it in. Wind assisted. What a score. Diarmuid Burns, the 2nd point of the game. But what a magnificent strike of the slipper from his own half of the field.
And a small bit of back chat moved it up that 10 yards that he needed as well. Got him within range.
Long puck out again from Páirc Collins against the wind. Changes the direction over towards Tim O'Mahony. Tom Morrissey's in the thick of it. Scramble. Somehow manages to get out, but Limerick dispossess. Cian Lynch just inside the Cork 65-metre line. Over towards Aidan O'Connor. Páirc Collins comes out, leaves it behind him. Picked up instead by Niall O'Leary. If you're from Cork and you're watching this anywhere in the world, it's heart-stopping stuff. Ball is flicked on by Diarmuid Burns out over a sideline ball for Cork. And I know there's loads of people all over the world watching. Robert Buckley's in Peru, Andrew Friday from Clonouty, Rossmore's in Cyprus. They're in New York and London, and certainly we know that you're enjoying this Munster final, and thank you indeed for joining us here on RT Sports. A quick ball inside from Diarmuid Healy. Backfires Diarmuid Healy. A little jink, tries to get a pass back first, Tim O'Mahony. It was a bit of a hospital pass, but O'Mahony did well to recover. Gets away from Adam English. Lays it off first, Shane Barrett. Shane heading towards the 30-metre line. Well blocked down. Limerick will cover well. Peter Casey is back there. Not normally a cornerback or a wingback. Darrow Donovan, in fact, and that's going to be a fray. And Ben O'Connor and company are incensed along the sideline. They're telling Diarmuid Healy. He was telling Diarmuid Healy to get back as quickly as he could as Cian Lynch. Tensions are palpable.
Yeah, the Cork players and Ben O'Connor are saying that when Conor Donovan got the ball, he's coming out, he ducked into the tackle. Cork player had his hand out and he ducked in. Either way, we're off again.
Official attendance is 43,209, and they're giving vent to their feelings. Opportunity coming for Shane O'Brien, and that is just outside the post and wide. So the referee had blown his whistle, I think. It's a free in for Limerick.
Another drag back on Shane O'Brien. We'll see it here. Great catch from O'Brien. Keeps the defender one side. Defender tried to marshal as best he can. You see a huge amount in that now either, Marty, if I'm to be honest.
Ben O'Connor is not happy, indicating what he wants to changes, having a word with Brian Hayes. Aidan O'Connor going to take this free. Paul Kinnerk and John Kiley look a little bit concerned, let's be honest. This free is important. A cauldron of noise. Feelings of tension. And that is off target.
Ben O'Connor there was just shouting at Brian Hayes to stay here with Barrett. They've Dudley down the middle there, and on the far side they've Tim O'Mahony, all the big guys for the puck outs. Well done.
Short ball to Rob Downey. Just took his eye off it. Gathered it the second time round. Gets away, trying to get away from the challenge. And the referee has blown his whistle. Players are getting a little bit frustrated with the referee, but that is a foul.
Yeah, it's just on the pull back again. They nearly had Downey. You can see there, it's just Garrod Hegarty, I'd say it could have been the swipe with the hurley as much as anything. Either way, we've seen this in the first half too with Dermot Burns is free in. These are danger in around Nicky Quaid square now.
2-point advantage is a dangerous lead in any game. Tim O'Mahony, just outside his own 45-metre line. Teacher in Charleville, North Cork. Lifting and striking this. Sending it up towards Brian Hayes and Alan Conlon. Back there is Barry Nash. No free given. The crowd, the Cork supporters looking for a free. Sent down. Good ball actually. Goes Aidan O'Connor. Left just a little bit too much space. And that is over the bar. Good score.
Great feat by Aidan O'Connor it was. He was in behind Niall O'Leary. You just see him there out in front, but he started that run behind O'Leary. Delivery of the ball, had a chance to look up so he could jink back outside to get that kind of roll.
1 point between the teams as we head towards the 63rd minute. Dare I mention it, that last year it went to extra time and penalties. I just had that feeling again. But let's see what happens here. Brian Hayes laying it off towards Alan Connolly, making an angle for himself. Quick hands over across Dermot Healy. In comes Adam English. Great work by Limerick. Darragh Donovan is there. Kicks it away down towards Mark Coleman. Survives the first challenge, tries to keep it in. Sideline ball. The crowd are on their feet. The roaring is incredible. Decibel levels are reaching sky high. Passions are aroused. 63 minutes and 27 seconds under the clock. Sideline ball. Sent down the line. Cork have it once more, played a little bit tight. As far as Mark Coleman. Tommy O'Connell makes a bit of space for himself. Gets the ball in. Not a great pass. And Barry Nash coming in for a challenge on Tim O'Mahony. And that's going to be a free. Let's just watch this again. Tommy O'Connell to Tim O'Mahony.
It's only a game of fractions of seconds here. Tim O'Mahony just about to get the ball in his hand. Mistimed obviously by Barry Nash. Cork supporters will be cross on, you see in the stands about that. It'll be a yellow card I would expect for Barry Nash. He's gotten fairly rattled by it as well. They're asking down there, can we take off his helmet? Probably have to leave the field of play anyway because he's getting treatment.
Medical attention on Tim O'Mahony and a yellow card for Barry Nash.
Yeah, he blood sub as well. You can see just in his temple there, the blood's coming down around his chin.
Coming across to get some medical attention as the cornerback from South Liberties. Nephew, of course, of Declan Nash that played for so many years with the Limerick team.
Shamey Hardy's down there as well. Archie, he stripped the Ray to come on. He's a great man to have coming on. The last 5 minutes plus injury time in a game like this, when you need to win puck outs, he'll do it for you.
Coming on, Seamus Harnedy is coming on for Cork, as you mentioned, Brendan, from the St. Eata's Club. 3 times an All-Star. And the player that's going off is Barry Walsh from Killalock. One-point game. David Reedy is on for Limerick. He'll definitely go into the attack. And the player that's going off is Shane O'Brien, who I must say I thought he played well today. 1 point, as I said. 5 minutes to go. There's usually traffic problems when you leave Páirc. There ain't nobody leaving early. Who cares about traffic problems today? It's Alan Connolly. Score of 8 points so far. That's bang on target.
Fair play to Cork. They've made very little of the elements. There's still a fair breeze blowing down into the Cork goals. They've used the ball really well.
Long puck out from Nicky Quaid. Dropping ball, picked up by Cian Lynch. Lays it off. Opportunity for Adam English. 20, 13. Passes it across. Has to score a goal. Patrick Collins is the hero. What a save by the Cork keeper. From the stick of Gearóid Hegarty. Cork were totally exposed, but Collins, magnificent save.
Yeah.
We can praise Nicky Quaid at one end, but look at Patrick Collins spreading himself as wide and as big. Just got a shot out for a 65.
Yeah, he got it actually with his hurley carrying hand as well. Watch it here now. See it there. He moved his hurling carrying hand and his hurley closer to the ball. You can see his teammates coming in to look at Cahalane coming up to congratulate his goalie. The ask now is, did Adam English get a swipe after he released the ball? That's what's going on inside there now, Marty, at the moment. The umpires are having a chat with James Owens, because if he did, it's striking with the hurley. Could be a black card. We'll see it. Looks like he's moving away, not calling anybody, so he's leaving it be.
James Owens coming across to check that Adam English is fit enough to continue on. Unselfishly giving the ball to Gearóid Hegarty and suffered the pain for it in his effort to create a goal-scoring opportunity for his colleague and teammates. The clock, meanwhile, ticks to the 68th minute of an exhilarating Munster hurling final, I have to say. They never fail to produce, Cork and Limerick. It's Dermot Burns. He's already scored twice in the second half. He'll be 32 years of age this year. What a servant he's been to Patrick Sweller's club and indeed to Limerick. Outstanding. A vital 65. He nailed that one. There's only 1 point between the teams. Mike Casey is coming on, who substitutes for Barry Nash. 1 point. Can Limerick get an equaliser? Force this match to extra time? Or can Cork survive? Every ball now is crucial. And it's Limerick. Cian Lynch on the attack. Lays it off to Kyle Hayes. Survives the initial challenge. Still Kyle Hayes. Advantage has been given. He's gone so far. Here's an opportunity for Gearóid Hegarty. He's happy to take the point. And it's gone over the bar. The sides are level on 69 minutes and 17 seconds. For the third time they're level.
He is busting through the middle again there. He was on an advantage. There's the Hegarty. Just took the point. Hegarty's gone inside now in the full forward line.
69 minutes and 32 seconds. Patrick Collins with the puck out. This ball is vital for both counties. Adam English trying to get the ball away past Kyle Hayes, who created the opportunity for Gearóid Hegarty. David Reedy flicks it back over past Barry Nash, who's back on the field as he drives that ball in towards the corner. First touch is vital, and it's pure magic from Gearóid Hegarty. Lovely wrist work. Peter Casey has the slipper, trying to get away. Is he fouled? The referee says no. Peter Casey from the sideline has sent it between the posts and over the bar. Fantastic! Peter Casey, what a score. Is that the winner? There's 5 minutes still to be played. Plenty of time. But what a score. What a point. Yeah. Peter Casey.
Okay, from Hegarty, faced the hurley the wrong way, skipped it into his hand, gave a pass into Casey, held off the tackle, and what a point.
Ball is dropping down. Brian Hayes tries to get a touch, runs on past Dermot Healy. Dermot Healy with Kyle Hayes coming in with the initial challenge. Still, he's fouled. Referee is giving the free, and there's an opportunity for the level of match again.
Kyle Hayes just put his hand onto Dudley's shoulder there. You can see the tension in everybody's face around the stadium. Watch the hand coming in there to drag him back. He was in. It's a good call by the referee.
71 minutes about to appear on your screen. Nicky Quaid anxious along the goal line, trying to organise his defence. He has two colleagues beside him. Alan Connolly. As a result of dissent, he's going to bring the ball dead straight in front of the post, so it should be an easy tap over. Tensions on everybody's faces. Can you watch at home, wherever you are? Right now, Alan Connolly going to surely just tap this over the bar. Mission accomplished. Sides are level again for the fourth time in this Munster final. It might be wet and damp, but who cares? Just like last year, we have an epic encounter. Cork are going to introduce a substitute. That's Hugh O'Connor from Newmarket and Fergus. Newmarket, County Cork. I'm getting my Newmarkets mixed up. Newmarket, County Cork. Ball is dropping down, running onto it, grabbing an opportunity, trying to twist and turn, flicking it high and flicking it over the bar. Once again, Peter Casey.
Once again, Garrod Hegarty inside there causing chaos. He's the one who breaks the ball out. Cork are away again, Marty.
Seamus Harnedy sends it down the wing. Brian Hayes, Barry Nash chasing after him. First touch by Brian Hayes, just about kept in with the linesman as his flag up. It's a line ball for Limerick.
Ben O'Connor's racing down the line there. I think he just went out over the line. To be fair to Hayes, did everything he could.
Ben O'Connor is furious with the line ball given by Sean Stack, the linesman. Letting his feelings be known. Sideline ball, 73rd minute. Ben is animated. Ben is passionate. Sideline ball is going straight out over the sideline. Yep. 73 minutes. John Kiley equally looking around. Can he make a change? Telling everybody to push forward or go back. Mark Coleman going to take the sideline cut. Sideline cut is between the 45 and 65 metre line. Sutherland stand right beside our cameras. Here he comes. Ball is given away to Kyle Hayes. There's nobody bar one player up front, but that happens to be Garrod Hegarty. 50-50 ball. Damien Carlisle trips as he was trying to get the ball away. Referee has blown his whistle. He's given a free to Cork.
Hegarty leg tripped him with the hurley. I think he shoved the hurley between his legs just to slow it up. He's down there, the victim, all right, but watch it here now. There's Hegarty there, look, see her, there she is. Had to slow it down, give your backs time, and this is exactly what's happened. He's called it back now again. Limerick defence have time now, Marty, to set up. If ever there was a good free by Hegarty, that was it. Mark Coleman's down remonstrating as well.
74 minutes and 7 seconds. 1 minute to go. James Owens has gone back to pick up the ball and give it to Patrick Collins. Just over 40 seconds to go. Collins with the fray. Cork have to win this ball, but Limerick have it. Dermot Burks. That's why they've won so many All-Irelands and so many Munster Championships. Cian Lynch is on the ground. Hans, he released the ball, getting away with it. It's Sean Finn. Good work by the wing back, by the cornerback. Laying it off towards David Reedy. David Reedy shoots. Long way out. The ball is wide. 74 minutes and 55 seconds. How much more will the referee add on? The puck out is not a great one, but Cork had to win it, but they didn't. Good work by Peter Casey. Garrod Hegarty wants it. Garrod looks at the goalpost and sends it off the post. Who wrote this script? Spielberg wouldn't do this in Hollywood. It's fantastic. And away goes a hook, and Cork trying their best to get the ball out. Come back to gather it is Tim O'Mahony. Tim O'Mahony surely gets the touch and it's a sideline ball. There is nobody sitting in their seats. They're all animated. We're on 75 minutes and 32 seconds. Is there more time going to be added on? Mark Coleman, 1 point between the teams. Limerick on the verge of history. Limerick on the verge of going to win the Munster Championship. Cork have the ball almost, slipping and sliding. Will O'Donoghue lets the ball away. Limerick have it once more. Overfires Adam English. He loses the possession. Back goes Shane Barrett. Shane Barrett gives to Robert Downey. Robert Downey trying to get it first. Tim O'Mahony. Tim O'Mahony. Garrod Hegarty. Frontal charge, and there's a free for Cork. Oh my God. What a drama. What a finish.
I'd love to know what James Owens is saying below there now. Is he saying this is the last chance? This is the one Hegarty come in and boom. Here's the belt. It'll all depend now if James Owens is telling whoever's hitting this free. It looks like Mark Coleman is standing near that this is the last puck of the game and has to go dead. It's a long hit from there, Marty, to get it over the bar.
He's outside his own 45-metre line. He's facing the wind. And there is kind of almost an eerie silence as we now head towards the 77th minute. 5 minutes was the allotted time, but the referee has his own discretion after that. Tim O'Mahony is getting up. James Owens is going in around the square. Mark Coleman will give him responsibility. John Kiley telling everybody to push back.
Patrick Collins is coming. He's trying the hurley there as well, Marty. Ben O'Connor gave a message there to the doctor to tell him what to do. I'd say he must be the last puck. God knows, but we'll see, but the tension here is very serious.
Patrick Collins has used the towel to wipe the hurling. He's outside his own 45. He's already made one brilliant save, if not two, but one outstanding. He's going to go a little bit short. Where's Mark Coleman? Coleman works the ball in. Tim O'Mahony is given the responsibility.
Full time.
And the referee has blown the full-time whistle. Limerick are Munster champions for the 26th time. In their 8th second final, having won 6 in a row from 2019 to 2024, they are now Munster champions again. They've beaten Cork in their own backyard. I would suspect that Patrick Collins might have been told, but I would suspect that they had to score that free directly.
Yeah, that's the big question down there. Cork players are down around James Owens at the moment. That's always the key, Marty. And in fairness to Ben O'Connor, he sent the message to Patrick Collins, I'd say, thinking that there was extra time to be played. That's where he went short on it. They didn't have to put it dead. Either way, Marty, what an unbelievable game we're after having here. Cork supporters are obviously just getting the showing out their dissatisfaction with the way the game has panned out. But at the same time, Cork have done really, really well here against the wind. I thought they didn't have enough with just a 2-point lead at half-time. But again, it'll be interesting to see afterwards what the free taker, Patrick Collins, was told.
But that is the key factor, because I think both of us thought that Patrick Collins had to score direct. When he went short, it really surprised me.
Yeah, in fact, it absolutely did. Either way, looking at the game as a whole, Limerick, you can tell what it means to Limerick down there from the scenes there. John Kiley jumped around as if the first time he's ever won a Munster championship. They wanted to come into the Lions' den today, Marty. They wanted to lay down a mark, and they've done it. Broadly speaking, I think Galway as well last night, really good in Croke Park. But we've seen two of the best teams in the country go head-to-head here as well now. The Munster championship needed it. I think we got it today.
100%. Wonderful, wonderful game. In an emotional day in Páirc. It is Limerick, the Munster champions for the 26th time. Full-time score, Limerick 1 goal and 21 points. Cork 2 goals and 17.
Yet again, far from flawless, but it certainly was exciting. Possibly the most exciting of the lot was that steward picking up Garrod Hegarty and giving him a huge big hug right at the end. We were watching that, and look at those scenes. Seamus Flanagan. I found it really interesting that Declan Hannon, in that piece we talked about before with Patrick Horgan, he said the medals they already have are relevant. They don't mean a thing. Will O'Donoghue said the same thing when we were down in Thurles for the league match. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. It looks like this matters.
Oh, come here, it's scenes, Joanne, absolute scenes. Like I don't think I've ever seen someone from Limerick celebrate this, but this is what it means. And I think coming down to the cauldron that is Páirc. This means so much to Limerick, and especially after the heartbreak of last year. You can say that okay, penalties ruled us out, but it's these moments, and to come down into the backyard of Cork and to win it like that, and you know, it wasn't a humdinger of a game in terms of a spectacle, but what a battle, what an absolute battle between two teams that are so evenly matched, so evenly matched, and I think that we saw exactly that there today.
Even John Kiley, look at him there with Cian Lynch. Is it the Cork factor? Is it the winning it in Cork? Is that what you're saying you think is what has made
made it so much like this? The rivalry, what is it?
I think so, Joanne. Like this rivalry has been building for the last number of years, and to have met so often, to be so familiar with a team, and to get one up. Like none of these matches are ever go beyond a point or two either way, and you can chalk that down. I know the last year's round-robin was probably the outlier in that, but they're so close. You can see what it means. Like look at everyone on the panel, be it extended panel, you know, panel members and starting players. There's fans somehow after getting onto the pitch there. They must have weaseled their way on through some stewards, but this means everything to them. And I suppose for the titanic battle that it was, it definitely means a whole pile to these players.
But I think as well, Joanne, like when you look at John Kiley's record in his 10th season, and you look like there's not too many teams have put that Limerick team to the pin of their collar. Go down through every county, and you'll find that they're well on top. Like, if Cork had to turn them over today, you were talking about 6-all and a draw between the two teams. Like that, so Cork have been a real thorn in John Kiley's side since in the last few years, especially since 2024. And I think to come down here to a place they hadn't won shows an element of character. But I'll tell you what, Cork will leave here with a lot to build on as well. I mean, I think Cork came and really performed heroically. I felt that the 65 that would have put Cork 4 points up, that hit the post, I think was a massive moment. It ended up being a free out. They moved the ball forward, the ball went over the bar. All of a sudden, instead of being 4 up, you're 2 up. So I thought there was moments in that game where, you know, it sort of gave a little bit of an impetus to Limerick. But Cork have an awful lot to take from. But as you said, you can see, like, you know, anyone raving about taking away provincial championships, like, I mean, hopefully those conversations are never mentioned again, because you see what that means to players today to go and win a Munster title.
Yeah, I think it was, do you know, there was a beauty in the game, almost in a slightly ugly way, in that conditions weren't great. It was such, every minute, every moment, every bit of skill was going to have a huge difference in it. Like from a Cork point of view, I feel that sickness in my stomach again, right? I feel it again. Last year's our Munster final was so close, and there was so joy. Now it's Cork's turn to be on the other side. And I will say this, and I'm looking out here at all the Limerick fans and the way they were engaged with the players and the way they've actually taken over from the stewards, and the stewards have given up in front of us, that in my time, Limerick supporters deserve great credit, because they followed the team through thick and thin. It was easy to follow Limerick in the last 10 years, but even before that, when I was playing, I always got that sense that they had great support. Also, like, this is the 8th Munster final in a row, in a time where the Munster, it is. So, like, in a time when hurling has been of such a standard, and we've seen great teams in Munster, to be in the 8th final and to have that type of hunger, you just have to stand back and respect and appreciate what we have in this Limerick team. Having said that, Cork will have to suffer this. They'll have to put it down deep, and they did show great resilience. They were 2 points up against the wind, so all is not lost, and the road is long, Joanne.
And even looking at these brilliant scenes, and they are really brilliant, we're not forgetting the fact that there was a controversial end to this game, Liam, which we will look at a little bit later on as well. But just when you look at that, like, some of these lads have 5 and 6 All-Ireland medals.
Yeah, and I mean, to think that that's their 7th, point they were in the last 8, they've won 7 out of 8. I mean, and some of those have been titanic battles. So like, there's great credit due to John Kiley and Páirc. They just keep on coming, you know, and as a group, you know, some players didn't really find their form today, you know. But I think overall, like, as a team, the resilience they showed and the resolve down the home straight. I mean, Peter Casey, who wasn't in the game, the way he got those last 2 scores, like Tom Morrissey came off the bench, struck a few scores. Like, there just is something about this Limerick team that makes them very, very hard to beat.
And Seamus, speaking of resilience, had all these goal chances, they didn't go in. Aidan O'Connor possibly wasn't on it, had a few misses otherwise that he would have converted. Do you think that adds to them managing to get over the line against a Cork team who did throw so much at them, and they still somehow managed to get across?
Yeah, and I suppose, Joe, it's about finding that way. We always speak about that, finding a way. If things aren't going right in the freeze, there's someone that will step up. I personally thought there was a masterclass of Garreau going inside. He was that outball. His legs, he had the legs on Cahalane inside. You could see that he had that, and every ball that went into him, he retained inside. He was the catalyst for Peter Casey to get his scores off of him inside. But it's just about finding a way. away. And this Limerick team, you know, you can see how much it means to them because it's so tight, it's so nip and tuck between these two, and the support that they get. But John and Paul will always put it back to the player group. It's the player group that drives this, and the competition for places that's inside there. You see Mike Casey, Tom Morrissey on screen there, both not able to get their places. So if it's the next man up, the next man up. If one isn't on it, it's the next man up.
So the Mick Mackey is going back home to Limerick. It used to be Declan Hannon who was raising it. This time it's going to be Cian Lynch, Marty.
It sure is. Look at the pictures, just fabulous. It shows you what it means, as you've just described, Joanne, yourself, how much the Munster Championship is to all these players. Nicky Quaid, as I mentioned earlier, it'll be his birthday on Friday, and he's already got a wonderful present today with his young family. It's a historic day for Limerick as they win their 26th Munster Championship title. And in the middle of all that, I have to compliment the Cork hurlers. They're all out there in the middle of the Limerick supporters. They've stood their ground to acknowledge Limerick. They've tried to shake hands with all of them, and you have to compliment Cork because it was dramatic at the very end, but they've stood there. Now I know they're in the security area, but before that, and the Limerick supporters were all around them, complimenting them on their hurling ability today. Full marks to both Limerick supporters and indeed to the Cork hurling team as well on an emotional afternoon. But the day belongs to Limerick. Wonderful Munster champions. And there's no doubt about it that this Limerick management of John Kiley and Paul Kinnerk and all the others like Alan Cunningham, Angus O'Brien, Donald Grady, who were there in the past, have done tremendous work with an incredible group of hurlers. The provincial championship is alive and well. Tim Murphy, the chairman of Munster Council, hands the Mick Mackey trophy to Cian Lynch. Limerick are Munster champions once again.
Sermon Young, Kearnshaw, Glocka, Erson Fuern, Limnon! It's an honour to accept the Mick Mackey Cup on behalf of the 2026 Limerick Senior Hurling Panel. This is something we don't take for granted, guys, and we'll appreciate it very much. So to start, the 36-man panel of players, each and every one of you guys, the work that's been done since last December, the sacrifices made, the crack we've had along the way, but the unity in this group, guys, is something that's so special. So to each and every one of you, thanks to the panel of players. To the management team led by John Kiley, to selectors, coaches, strength and conditioning coach, nutritionists, sports psychologists, each and every one of you guys, the sacrifices you have made since last December, training 3-4 nights a week, making that effort to have that one-on-one chat with us, whether it's an individual setting, group setting. On behalf of the group of players, I want to thank each and every one of you, from John Kiley to the whole backroom team, on behalf of all the players. So thanks a million. To the medical staff, I suppose us as players is trying to get out onto the pitch every week, whether it's training, whether it's to be fit for match day, but your attention to detail, guys, from the masseur, Paul McMahon, physios, Shawnee McAuliffe, Clem Nihill, and the team doctor, Dr. James Ryan. We really appreciate the work you do, guys, so thanks a million. To our sponsors, JP, Noreen, and all the McManus family, guys, we really appreciate the work you do for ourselves, the people of Limerick, and the wider community. So to the McManuses, thanks a million. Limerick County Board, it's great to have you in our corner, guys. The chairman, Seamus McNamara, treasurer, Sean Burke, and secretary, Michael Reardon. There's no stone left unturned, guys, and we really appreciate the support from the Limerick County Board, so thank you. To the players' families, wives, partners and girlfriends, guys, we appreciate what you do for us week in, week out, the sacrifices you make, but I just hope you get to enjoy this as much as we do, and on behalf of the group, thanks a million to each and every one of you. To today's match day officials, guys, you made it a great game. The work you do behind the scenes, each and every one of you, us as players, really appreciate the work the referee and officials do, so thanks a million for the game today, guys. To the Cork team and management, guys, thanks a million for our sporting game today. It's been a great battle. We've had many great battles down through the years. I know we'll have many more going forward, so fair play to you guys. Hold your heads up. Lastly, to the Limerick supporters, I mean it when I say it, guys. You're the best supporters in the world. We look forward to seeing you in Croke Park in a few weeks. Limerick Boo!
The Limerick supporters certainly are. He'll have to have another one of those in his arms, won't he? Or he'll be in big, big trouble. Cian Lynch, captain of the Munster champions once again. He mentioned, Seamus, there about the fans being the best fans in the world. Obviously, Cork fans would have a little say on that as well. But they clearly give a boost, despite the fact that Patrick mentioned earlier that you can't even hear yourselves out on the pitch.
Yeah, and they add so much. I'm not sure it was that so much of a dig at Shane Barrett saying that the Cork fans are the best fans in the world a couple of weeks back. But no, come here, look, you can see by the scenes there. And, you know, as a player, when you're on the pitch, that adds so much to the game. That adds so much to how you're able to play. And, you know, when you're feeling that tiredness and that lactic acid in your legs, you know, a rising score and hearing that fans come in, it means the world. And it does genuinely give you that extra 1-2% that you need to just kick you over the line. And you see that what happened here today.
Liam, let's go through how they closed it out, because we were going back to try to check. So after the 5th minute, Limerick didn't lead until the 70th minute. So tell us how they managed to close out that game.
Yeah, well, it's a sign of a great team, you know, the resolve that's in the group. You know, I thought Kyle Hayes came thundering into it later on. Here's Adam English. I mean, you get a lot of plaudits for what he did here, but actually the intercept he made from Dudsey was incredible. Dudsey Healy up the other end. And I thought Aidan O'Connor, tough enough day to take free, but that score I thought was absolutely massive, that 65.
Yeah, and we spoke about Kyle Hayes before the game. I thought he showed great composure here. The tendency would be in that last 20 minutes, you could actually see him getting stronger and almost enjoying what was going on. Speaking of one of the great players, this is some touch here from Hegarty. What a class touch. On to Peter Casey. I haven't seen a better player in contact than Casey over the years. Normally he's so good at turning the other players over, and he did get Sean O'Donoghue on a yellow, which was the reason why he was taken off. But all credit to Casey. He's class and he's so good in that close contact.
And then, do you know what, I suppose from Peter's perspective as well, for the game to maybe not have gone how he wanted it to have gone, and for him to stood up in the big moments and to get 2 scores were massive scores. So
this is the controversy there. So Gearóid Hegarty was already on a yellow. He could perhaps have got one. Not that that made much of a difference, but it's the free, isn't it? So we didn't see Cork ask James Owens, because it was gone past the minute. So he said he was going to have 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes. Remember, it's always at least 5 minutes, Donal Óg. He'd gone a minute over that 5 minutes. Cork had a free. It was very far out. They could have attempted to put it over the bar. They chose to play it short.
All right, I'd say you could talk a lot about this now, right? Okay. I think on fairness, he probably should have left it run out, okay? Just on balance and on fairness, that's what I feel. But from a second thing, go back, if anyone goes back and is interested in the game, you'll see so often when teams get a free like that in the end, that the whole team pushes back and the whole defence, even John Kiley, and very often you'll see your own players have opportunities. So from a tactical point of view, I can understand fully why Patrick, because it was outside his distance, the wind was strong, so I can understand entirely why Cork took that approach. You'll see it, go back and watch it. If anyone's a club coach, whatever coach, you'll see that situation where you could have worked it actually up, because it's normally you've got 3 players against 1 defender or whatever, because they've all pushed back. But on balance, in terms of the decision, I thought it would have been fair just to allow it to be played out.
Should you, if you're out there, would you want your player to check with the referee? Because that's what usually happens, right? You will say, do I have time to play this, or do we need to go direct?
Yeah, I mean, generally, or actually, normally you won't even have to ask. The ref will tell you that, listen, you know, you have to score direct here. And I thought the signal when Patrick Collins was coming out was that, we all felt here that this must be last puck stuff, because we felt he was the only one that would have a puck long enough to reach the distance. So, yeah, look at it, but I suppose when you reflect back on it, Limerick had 42 shots, Cork had 23, just maybe on the balance of play. Maybe Limerick just deserved to squeeze over. Now you'd have to honour Cork's efficiency in front of the goals was exceptional. They had the first wide in the 29 minutes, so they were more effective with their use of the ball. But overall, maybe just, I felt on the day, Limerick just about shaded it. There might be another day.
OK, let's get to whom they have chosen as man of the match. It's the same man they chose possibly the last time we were down here, or certainly it's not his first man of the match this season or across the last few years.
JP Dixon from Ayr is here to present Nicky Quaid with his Man of the Match award. JP, will you do the honours? Yeah. Well done, JP. Thank you very much. Nicky, I'll get you over to answer a couple of questions. What a day. What does this mean for you, I suppose, personally, and the team? The conditions were horrendous. There wasn't any space. How did you guys get over the line?
I don't know, Damien. Look, it's an incredible feeling. We're just so happy. I suppose, like losing last year, it was tough to take, and you know, getting over the line there, it's a huge relief more than anything, to be honest with you. It's just you see the emotion there at the end, just the release from all of us. It's an incredible feel. Just delighted.
Would the previous games build into this, Nicky? Like, you have a bit of hurt there from last year as well.
Yeah, of course. Look, like lost was the final last year on penalties, and you know, but I suppose we parked it really at the start of the year. We parked it and made sure that, you know, I suppose we didn't end up going back to that again, and it looked like there for a while it was going to go to extra time and things, but we're just so happy. It's like, obviously the games from previous times, you use them to fuel it, no different than any other team. Like, so we're over the moon.
You got 27 turnovers. You got maybe 6-7 points from your own puck outs as well. How difficult was it to place the ball today with such little space ahead of you?
Yeah, conditions were tough now. It was very windy, and then it was rain, and I suppose it got a bit heavier kind of for the whole second half, and we had a bit of a breeze in that, or the wind in the second half, which probably helped us, to be fair. It was much more difficult probably for Cork to get their puck outs out, given the conditions. But look, we managed it well, I thought. I think Orla's did extremely well. Our half-back line, that was brilliant, and same our full-back line, and we did get it short to use the ball very well, and look, we're just delighted.
Peter Casey's a guy that had a serious injury a few years ago, came back today, got really stood up with scores when it was badly needed. Just, I suppose, his impact and the work he's put in to get back to this level, Nicky.
It's incredible what Peter's done. I suppose you talk about someone that has a lot of resilience. Like, Peter just epitomises that. To be fair to him, and I'm not really sure why Peter's not standing here, to be honest with you, but I thought the last 15 minutes he was absolutely immense. You know, the ball he carries, the scores he got, he's just a huge player for us, and we're absolutely delighted to have him on our team.
A final one for you. When it comes to playing these guys, you know each other inside out. There's a huge rivalry there. There's never bar a puck of the ball in it. What gets you over the line either side of it?
It's a little bit of luck, to be honest with you. It's a small bit of luck. You know, they're an exceptionally good team. You know, so on the day, it's very small margins, and it's a small bit of luck. You know, like even the width of the post there at the end could have cost us, and you know, their ball just dropped in short at the end. So look, it's small little things, and you know, between all the teams, it's very little between any teams, and we're just delighted to be on the right side of it today.
Look, and a few world-class saves. Well done, Nicky.
Thanks a million. Thanks very much.
He just is world-class in general, I think, but he reckons you should have been Peter Casey.
Yeah, and look, Peter definitely put his hand up for contention to this. The funny thing about Peter is he backs himself. He's one of those players that even though the game was maybe drifting away from him a small bit, in that instance you wouldn't want anyone else on that ball but Peter Casey. And it goes to show his game, how I suppose the variety in his game, the diversity. He usually plays that pocket role, sitting outside, picking off scores from out the field. But when he goes inside, and himself and Hego are great friends off the pitch, but just that understanding of where they need to be. And you know, Peter wouldn't be the biggest man, but to take that contact off Mark Coleman, to push off and to have to back yourself in that stage of the game, to back yourself, and even at the far side then for the second point to put him 2 up, to position yourself in that area, to know that okay, I'm going to pick a ball here, but to know what to do, to off the back foot, striking off, it just takes so much skill, but the intelligence, the game intelligence, to put yourself in that position, to be able to retain and to be able to know what to do, not fluster. It's super play out of Peter.
Because I remember back in the 23 All-Ireland, I mean, Limerick only had 9 points scored in the first half, and you felt Kilkenny had him under the cosh. And I thought Peter Casey's second half performance, he was off the right wing, off the left wing. Like, the level of accuracy he has when he's literally hanging on the touchline, I think is just incredible. It's a joy to watch.
So they've talked up Peter Casey. Maybe show some of the reasons why you went with Nicky Quaid.
I think all of the great teams, they all have great goalkeepers, and they give that vibe right throughout the team for the rest of the players. When they look around, it's everything is okay here, Jack. We're under control. And that goes through the whole team. That first save, it was a good save, but we would have expected him to save it. Mark Coleman does everything right here in terms of the way he strikes the ball. That to me is, from knowing what it's like, he was moving the other direction with the flow of the play. And the other aspect of it, see how quickly he was up. If you're a young keeper, right, and he was on about resilience, fellas coming back from injuries. Sure, he came back from a cruciate faster than most humans on the planet actually did. So in terms of resilience, but in terms of contribution, and in terms of the big moments, yes, we spoke a lot about Peter Casey there, whether he should get man of the match or not, but it was in such a small period that he was good. There was no other really outstanding candidate from Limerick that had the impact on the big moments that he had today.
Yeah, resilience, certainly the word of the day. It is Limerick who are Munster champions. We'll have more on it in a moment. After that penalty shootout blip for the Gaelic Grounds 12 months ago, that finals record is back on track for John Kiely. Here is the Limerick manager now.
John, you knew it was going to be crazy. What's your reflections now? You're just off the pitch.
Yeah, we spoke about being calm in the chaos before we went out, because those games just descend into chaos, and it's hard. It's really hard for the guys to stay steady and make good decisions. You know, everything is happening at 1,000 miles an hour. So just really proud of the bunch as a whole. They've worked so hard for the last 8 months to be here today in the first place, let alone to get out there and fight for it there like they did. And listen, there was nothing between the two teams. It was a toss of a coin. And, you know, we found a bit of momentum in that last quarter. And once we got our noses in front, I don't think we were for being beaten.
And you mentioned Cam. Nicky Quaid showed it in spades, and Peter Casey at the end as well. Lovely control shooting in a furnace out there.
Yeah, listen, the lads, they really adapted well, because, you know, they had peaks and troughs in the game. We had times when we weren't going well, we had times when we were going well. Our wide count is probably high today again, but listen, we created enough of chances at the same time, and we took enough, as it turns out, in the finish. But listen, a tremendous effort by the lads. A just reward, I think, for our campaign. But we're looking forward to the next phase now. We'll take a few days now to regroup, gather ourselves, get a good recovery in, and really look forward to the few weeks ahead now as well.
In the first half, you were facing a stiff breeze, but you did very, very well. Do you think that set you up nicely?
We controlled the game in phases the first half, and it was difficult. You know, the wind was very, very strong. It was 30 kilometre an hour with 55 kilometre an hour gusts. You know, so it's really hard on your own puck out in particular. But we did brilliantly well, and you know, I just really thought we brought good, controlled energy to everything. We weren't always on the money, but we didn't allow it to beat us down. We kept coming back for more and more. We got a great twist off the bench again today, which was critical, absolutely critical. So delighted with that. As I said, the whole group can be very proud of themselves. They've worked tremendously hard. We've been here on nights when it hasn't gone for us, so we know what it's like to be on the other side of the coin. But today, I think we deserve to come out on top in the finish.
History made. Well done, John.
Thank you very much indeed.
They've had plenty of good days, I think it's fair to say, John Kiely's Limerick team. Before we finish off talking a little bit more about them, let's talk about a moment of magic that we thought might have been the turning point early on in that second half for Cork.
Yeah, and I think it's testament to the man that got it was Brian Hayes, and I think he played an awful amount of his game outside of the half where you see him here in the bottom of your screen where he is. Remains there, stays there. Diarmuid Healy, who was so industrious throughout, but you see who picks up the ball here. Diarmuid Healy pops it in, and look where Brian Hayes moves from. Look where he moves from, out in the half-forward line. Just that intent to get into the right position, intent to be there, intent to be that runner off the shoulder, and what composure to turn back inside here and off the ground. It's a phenomenal strike.
Yes, we looked at it from behind the goals, and you see the distance he was out building on Seamus' point. Both himself and Tommy O'Connell, their speed, like Tommy shows really well behind the halfback. And I think this was a class pass by Tommy right into the space. But to finish like this, you want really good core ability to be able to offload like that. I often speak about you should be able to strike the ball without dependence on your feet, and that was a brilliant example for such a big man to have that strength and composure. It was a brilliant finish.
And he didn't go looking for a penalty, he didn't go looking for the foul either, he just went for the goal. You mentioned earlier what you actually thought, for all the great play we saw, there was one moment you picked out as being the real turning point.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, when you lose by a point, it's just the margins, and this is the free that would have put them 4 points up, and I felt really in the driving seat. It comes off the post, Sean Finn is out, he's ahead of, and again, you know, that's borderline now. There's not a lot in that, and obviously Cork are really upset at the fact that the free is given. So there's obviously a bit of mountain given to James Owens, and all of a sudden the ball has moved forward. And from downtown, good old Diarmuid Burns, how often have we seen it? I mean, that is just an incredible strike. But when you look back in the game and there's a 1 point margin in it, that was a massive moment. But I guess, you know, that's the things that these moments make such a difference. But I think overall in the day that, you know, I'd like to reflect on the two defences. I mean, we've seen some of the best players to play the game from 8 to 15 in both squads. And to look at the game, I know it was wet, but to 217 to 121, I thought some of the defending today, the forwards generally always get the credit. I thought some of the defending from both sides today was absolutely heroic.
And just to remind everybody as well, though, there is that new descent rule, which means any descent, the slitter is moved up 30 metres. Let's finish off with the Limerick man and the Cork man. Where to now? What do you see them going all the way?
Well, I think, John, the 4-week layoff for them is perfect. John loves that because it gives you time to come back down after building up for a Munster final. You can come back down for this week, you know, train lightly maybe Thursday or Friday, once over the weekend, and then you're into that 3-week, he was calling it a phase, into that 3-week phase of a build to an All-Ireland semi-final. You get eyes over the quarter-final as to who you're going to be playing again. So that's a really nice place to be. But at the same time, you know, that's 4 times that these two teams have met. You'll have to have your eyes on a 5th, and whether that be an All-Ireland final, it's 1-1, and that's a different kettle of fish then again.
Except that we have seen beaten Munster finalists be caught in the All-Ireland semi-final.
Well, we saw that last year, like after the All-Ireland final last year, we kind of said that this was the middle game of a trilogy, and a couple of weeks later, Limerick got caught. A couple of weeks after that, Cork were beaten. I think from a Cork point of view, you must factor in as well, like Cork lost Joyce. Also lost Darragh O'Leary, not much talk about that, but he still was an option. Their captain, Darragh Fitzgibbon, who was man of the match in 3 of these games over the last number of years. Dalton was out of the mix. So whilst Cork are down, of course, it's a killer to lose a game like that. But all is not lost, and the road is long. The only thing is, it's been too long for us down here, but that's the test of the character, and there's loads of character inside that Cork dressing room.
Yeah, Limerick may be Munster champions, but there's a lot of hurling still to go. A big thank you to Liam, to Seamus and to Donal Óg for their day today. Don't forget to join Jackie, Patrick and Anthony and Ursula from 9:30 for tonight's Sunday game to look back on the whole weekend of hurling and also football. But from all of us here at Páirc, bye-bye.
Panel's looking good this year.
This is the battle of the superheroes in a game of hurling. Cork versus Limerick.
I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. Got my mind set on you.
This is Limerick at their very best. One of the greatest performances by Cork. Cork have beaten Limerick in their own backyard. It's misty, it's cloudy, we were expecting torrential rain, but it's not bad at all.
It's a strong enough breeze too. It looks like a 5 or 6 point breeze. You'll see now from Patrick Collins' long puck out.
Cork looking dangerous here. Opportunity! Brian Hayes skips over the crossbar and between the posts. Good score. And it's a really good ball, dropping it in. Referee blows the whistle and he's given a penalty. After 7 minutes of play, the high dropping ball, James Owens had no doubt whatsoever. Here it comes.
He has a definite penalty. Inside defenders now have to be really careful. There's the Kyle Hayes there. His left hand was over the shoulder of Hayes in there. It's a penalty, and Mark Coleman looks like he's the man coming up now. They hit it.
The first player from Blarney to play senior hurling for Cork, facing Nicky Quaid. Great wing back, brilliant goalkeeper. And it's in the back of the net. And it took an extra special shot to beat Nicky Quaid. 2 goals in the championship goes to the credit of Mark Coleman. Watch this. Bullet like bottom left-hand corner as we look at it.
But there's nothing he can do about that. It's just hit like a missile.
William O'Donoghue is fouled. There was a moment hesitation, but the referee did give him the free. Here comes Dermot Burns. Hits it, dropping in. Gathered, the edge of the square! Brilliant goal. Simplicity in motion. Gerard Hegarty with his second goal of the championship. The first was against Waterford. The second is against Cork in the Munster final. Leaping up into the air, turning around, pulling for his time, and into the back of Patrick Collins' net. A goal apiece, 1 point between the sides. Mark Coleman picking it up. Has to go back. A little bit brave to bounce the slither on the hurley. Referee is given the advantage. I think he was going to give a free, but he's given the advantage to Niall O'Leary, who did well. Knocking it down towards William O'Donoghue, the St. Finbarr's man from Tolka in the south side of Cork City. Brilliant turn, difficult angle. Can he squeeze it inside the post? Yes, he can. Excellent play, William Buckley. Ball rolls on, first Dermot Burns. Shane Barrett unable to control it. Advantage being given to Dermot Burns. Good decision by James Owens. Now what is that? Is that not
a free back?
A free back it is, that's what he's going to do. But you'd have to wonder about Shane O'Brien's, the challenge that was on Shane. Let's just watch this again as the ball dropped in. Is that not the same as what we saw a while ago, Brendan Cummins?
Yeah,
should that not be a penalty?
Consulted with the umpire there, they both concurred that it's a free.
Out comes Tommy O'Connell, formerly a wing-back, now midfield in the absence of Darragh Fitzgibbon. Goes long. It's Speedy Gonzalez. It's Shane Barrett bearing down in goal, trying to take a shot. Great work by William O'Donoghue. Gives it, flicks it out for Brian Hayes and Alan Connolly. Sitting into the centre. Look who's here. Taking a shot. Oh, Nicky Quaid! Nicky Quaid! What a man! What a save! What a goalkeeper! It was bound from the back of the net. But Nicky Quaid, at 37 years of age on Friday, happy birthday, Nicky Quaid. You're still the best goalkeeper in the country. Here comes the 65, and it's on its way again. Tim O'Mahony, 4 point of the game. Gerard Hegarty. Oh, beautifully caught out of the sky by Robert Downey. Sends it back. Has it got the target? Oh, my word. Robert Downey, take a bow. Look at that. Slither, Raider-like, down to big Robert Downey from Glen Rovers. And then he hit an absolute magnificent point. Gerard Hegarty. First touch. Oh, beautiful. Shane O'Brien. Now can he finish it? It deserves a score. Is it over the bar? It is. One of the classiest scores you're going to see in any championship game. Look at this. Didn't touch it, just grabbed it there. Little shimmy afterwards, and he hit the slither between the posts down at the city end. Up goes Aidan O'Connor, flicking it on for Cian Lynch. Always this third quarter is a period when Limerick step up the gears. Tom Morrissey, Tom from Mahan, brother is at full back, Tom is a wing forward, and he flicks it between the posts and over the bar.
It was a nice simple pass up the line that opened it up for Tom Morrissey to come down the middle. Cian Lynch obviously gets it, draws the defender in.
Ball batted away by Dermot Healing. Did well. Looking around, there's nobody immediately available. Gets the call from Shane Barrett. Had the peripheral vision. Nice ball inside. Lovely ball for Tommy O'Connell. On for his big Brian Hayes. Turning inside. He's inside the large rectangle. He bats it into the back of the net. Cork rejoice. Big, big Brian Hayes. All the way from St. Finbarr's. All-Star last year. He never, ever gave up.
Well, it came from Dermot Burns, intercepted pass down the line. Dudsey, they got him on the counter-attack inside. Hayes made that angle run. Made no mistake with the batted finish.
And Limerick capitalise on this. Aidan O'Connor, Gerard Hegarty's inside. Here comes the shot. Patrick Collins saves and somehow gets it away before Gerard Hegarty arrived. It's not over yet. Tom Morrissey will be satisfied with a point. He taps it over. Point giver a goal to Tom Morrissey from a half. scattered by Tim O'Mahony. Flicking it forward. Nice ball. Mark Coleman. He's already scored a goal. He's going for a second one. Oh, Nicky Quaid. Fantastic save. Iverado. Brilliant. Nicky Quaid. If they win this Munster Championship, I think they owe a lot to Nicky Quaid. They'll be building a monument to him. Ball up for William Buckley. William. Jinking left, jinking right, loses the possession. They're back there, Barry Nash. It's flowing from one end to the other. Ball goes out over the end line, and it is a 65 for Cork. 65 now going to be taken by Tim O'Mahony. He's going for his 5th point of the game. Hits it, comes back off the post. Not a fair shoulder.
We've been up here for loads of games, so that's not giving us a free. It's just giving us hurling. Let's go, play away.
13 minutes to go. Diarmuid Byrnes lashing it, dropping it in. Wind assisted. What a score. Diarmuid Byrnes, his 2nd point of the game.
And a small bit of back chat moved it up that 10 yards that he needed as well. Got him within range.
Long puck out from Nicky Quaid. Dropping ball, picked up by Cian Lynch. Lays it off. Opportunity for Adam English. 20, 13. Passes it across. Has to score a goal. Patrick Collins is the hero. What a save by the Cork keeper. It's Diarmuid Byrnes. He's already scored twice in the second half. A vital 65. He nailed that one. There's only 1 point between the teams. First touch is vital, and it's pure magic from Garrod Hegarty. Lovely wrist work. Peter Casey has the sitter, trying to get away. Is he fouled? The referee says no. Peter Casey from the sideline has sent it between the posts and over the bar. Fantastic! Peter Casey, what a score. Is that the winner? There's 5 minutes still to be played. Plenty of time. But what a score. What a point. Peter Casey. Ball is dropping down. Brian Hayes tries to get a touch. Runs on past Diarmuid Healy. Diarmuid Healy with Kyle Hayes coming in with the initial challenge. Still he's fouled. Referee is giving the free. And there's an opportunity for the level of the match again. Alan Connolly going to surely just tap this over the bar. Mission accomplished. Sides are level again for the 4th time in this Munster final. It might be wet and damp, but who cares? Ball is dropping down, running onto it, grabbing an opportunity, trying to twist and turn, flicking it high and flicking it over the bar. Once again, Peter Casey. Limerick have it once more. Over fires Adam English. He loses the possession. Back goes Shane Barrett. Shane Barrett gives to Robert Downey. Robert Downey trying to get it first. Tim O'Mahony. Tim O'Mahony. Garrod Hegarty. Frontal charge, and there's a free for Cork. Oh my God.
Ben O'Connor gave a message there to the doctor to tell him what to do. I'd say he must be the last puck. God knows what we'll see, but the tension here is very serious.
Patrick Collins has used the towel to wipe the hurling. He's outside his own 45. He's going to go a little bit short. There's Mark Coleman. Coleman works the ball in. Tim O'Mahony is given the responsibility. And the referee has blown the full-time whistle. Limerick are Munster champions for the 26th time. In their 8th successive Munster hurling final, having won 6 in a row from 2019 to 2024, they are now Munster champions again. They've beaten Cork in their own backyard. Full-time score, Limerick 1 goal and 21 points. Cork 2 goals and 17. The provincial championship is alive and well. Tim Murphy, the chairman of Munster Council, hands the Mick Mackey Trophy to Cian Lynch. Limerick are Munster champions once again.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they enjoyed that. And what a record for John Kiley. 19 finals, 18 wins, and Limerick are champions again.
Yeah, lost the other one on penalties. Yeah, it's a phenomenal record in finals, isn't it? It's amazing how they can get it right time and time again. And it looked at stages there as if it wasn't going to quite happen during the second half, but they kept believing, kept grinding and got there. I know, a bit bizarre, the whole thing at the end, but they're champions again.
Yeah, let's chat about that at the end. Ben O'Connor seemed to be a little bit unhappy about the time played. There seemed to be some suggestion about, was it the last puck, was it not? Did he have a case?
I think he does, 100%. It wouldn't have came down to time at that stage. It would have been either last puck, I suppose, or you get a play it out. And it was kind of neither, and it was in between. So I think that's why he's probably asking those questions, and he's right to do so.
When you look at this at the end, Ursula, it did feel like chaos in the moment while this was going on.
It was a frantic finish, really, and you felt that Limerick were nearly going to score a point with this and they lose possession. And it was a 100% a free for Tim O'Mahony, and he looks in quite a bit of pain. You can see the Cork players immediately, calling on Patrick Collins. I suppose the big thing here is the communication. We're obviously not sure what James Owen said to the players, and you can see that Patrick is getting ready to take the free, and in some instances you're saying, should he be going long and direct and play it out, but he obviously takes the option of going short to Mark, and he lays it into Tim, and that's actually when James Owens blows the whistle. And I think that's what Patrick is implying, that like you either play it out and let the play develop, or you blow it up. And he was caught in between, and that's where the frustration is coming from.
Yeah, and like Jackie, if he did blow it before Tim O'Mahony had full control of the ball, which I found bizarre as well. But if Tim O'Mahony had met that clean from the halfway line and got it over, now it was into a fair wind, but he was about 20 yards ahead of where Patrick Collins has taken the free. But if he had nailed that, there'd have been chaos down there afterwards.
One other point worth making is, look, you were obviously a free taker. You know what it's like. I heard people saying, "Oh, Patrick Collins, should he have taken that on?" That was a fair way away into the breeze.
And we don't know, like from looking on the telly today, but the wind down there must have been really strong. You could see when Limerick had the wind, how far Dermot Bones could actually strike the ball with it. And even in the first half, he had a free from the sideline on the 65, I think, went short as well. So it was howling all right. But I'm a bit surprised that, Cork were fouled, and they they came out the worst of being fouled, I suppose, because they couldn't have reached and they weren't allowed to play on. So that was just a bit strange.
But I wonder if Collins just launched it long, would he have waited to see what developed? Because he didn't blow it when it went to Coleman. He waited for Coleman to play it back into O'Mahony, and then he blew it.
Yeah, well, we will never know. Munster champions for Limerick once again. We're going to take a quick break here on the programme, but plenty more still to come. We've got analysis and reaction from that Munster hurling final as Limerick are crowned champions. Highlights too from last night's Leinster hurling final between Galway and Dublin. Plus the rest of the weekend's action, including the Tailteann Cup, Camogie and the Joe McDonagh Cup final.
Have you room for one more, lad?
I'll be looking for you.
Bang, bang, you're dead.
Next time, you won't even see me coming. Love Hate. All episodes streaming now on RTE Player.
The first thing you listen to in the morning sets your mood for the day. So join me for a gorgeous mix of music, chat and good humour that will leave you floating.
Marty in the morning. Mornings only lighter on RTE Lyric FM.
What do you think is McDonald's most essential ingredient? The egg in your McMuffin, the beef in your Big Mac, or the milk in your must-have morning cappuccino? Well, actually, we think our most essential ingredient is Irish farmers, who keep their hens happily free-range, make sure their beef is Board Bia approved, and provide us with fresh Irish milk. Because it's their hard work and dedication who help make those McDonald's favourites your favourites. And that's why we're proud to support Irish farming.
Elini, Elini, Kadaligi, 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 Kadaligi.
Vodafone provides connectivity in over 230 destinations.
Thanks, Mum. No one sings it like you.
Oh, I can't wait to see the little lad. I'm flying home in a few days.
Not every network travels this well when it matters.
Into the woods I go.
beyond the places others know. To lose my mind and find my soul. To see what stuff I'm made of.
Bir Moretti Zero. Enjoy life's simple pleasures anytime.
All right, team, we've got less than 4 minutes before she gets her car insurance quotes. Brendan, you're up for the web chat if she wants assistance.
I wonder what kind of car she's going to get.
Focus, Brendan, focus. Brent, it's for you.
On it.
RedClick, insurance that just clicks. Save up to €300 when you quote online.
Hello there. Oi. Head and shoulders. Didn't know you had dandruff.
I don't.
I don't either, if you're asking. It's time for a demonstration.
Head and Shoulders helps wash away dandruff and oil, and used regularly prevents it coming back. Head and Shoulders, dermatologically tested to use every wash. Looking gorgeous.
Talking goat.
Lash of the ash. Not as fun when you're on the other side of the hurley, let me tell you.
Where there's hurling, there's Centra.
Limerick are the Munster hurling champions for the 7th time in 8 years. A remarkable run for John Kiley's side as they took down the Rebels in their own backyard to win back the Mick Mackey Cup.
The referee has blown the full-time whistle. Limerick are Munster champions. They've beaten Cork in their own backyard.
Look, it's an incredible feeling. We're just so happy. I suppose like losing last year, it was tough to take, and getting over the line there, it's a huge relief more than anything, to be honest with you. It's just you see the emotion there at the end, just the release from all of us. It's an incredible feeling.
You can tell what it means to Limerick from the scenes there. John Kiley jumped around. It's the first time he's ever won a Munster championship. They wanted to come into the Lions' Den today, Marty. They wanted to lay down a mark, and they've done it.
Yeah, we spoke about being calm in the chaos before we went out, because those games just descend into chaos, and it's hard. It's really hard for the guys to stay steady and make good decisions. Just really thought we brought good, controlled energy to everything. A tremendous effort by the lads. A just reward, I think, for our campaign. We're looking forward to the next phase now. We'll take a few days now to regroup, gather ourselves, get a good recovery in, and really look forward to the few weeks ahead now as well.
What is it about Cork and Limerick? They always give us sparkling entertainment.
It was a tight game, tough, greasy conditions, and I suppose we came out on the wrong side of it by a point. Disappointed, I suppose, for the lads. Great work effort out of them, and I suppose with Cork eyes look at it, and I think there was a few harsh frees given against us. Limerick people said that they probably deserved a few more frees, so I suppose everyone's going to see it different. But look, it's tight margins at this level, like. So look, we don't have any cup after today in Limerick.
And he bats it into the back of the net. Big Brian Hayes.
They're an exceptionally good team, so on the day it's very, very small margins, and it's a small bit of luck, like even the width of the post there at the end could have cost us, and small little things, and between all the teams it's very, very little between any teams, and we're just delighted to be on the right side of it today.
I suppose coming down here to Cork's home ground, I suppose we know what it felt like last year when they took it off us above the Gaelic ground. So coming down here and getting a result is no mean feat. So yeah, just absolutely delighted to have another fantastic day in the Limerick jersey, and hopefully more to come in the next couple of weeks.
I mean it when I say it, guys. You're the best supporters in the world. We look forward to seeing you in Páirc in a few weeks.
Yeah, Limerick champions once again, and they're champions for good reason, Ursula, because when the game needed to be won in those closing moments in both halves, they were the ones in control.
That was key to Limerick's performance today. They had 2 periods of dominance. It was at the end of the first half, just before half-time, where they reeled off the final 4 points of the half. And Cathal O'Neill, who is so brilliant at winning a dirty ball, so comfortable striking over the bar. And at one stage, Cork were 111 to 1-5 up, and this really brought Limerick Limerick back into it. Shane O'Brien, look at this for a touch in difficult conditions out in front of Niall O'Leary, and he's so strong, you know, under the ball and very comfortable at shooting, and it was a super point, and it really brought Limerick back into the game, and only 2 points in at half time. Again, here we see, you know, brilliant ball into Aidan O'Connor, who moved into the full forward line, and you know, this is when Limerick really pressed hard and strong on Cork. You know, Kyle Hayes, how many times have we seen that kind of surge and run? And Hegarty, who moved into that full forward line when Galan and O'Brien were off, like it was a sensational score. But that was the difference, really. You know, it's hard to believe that Limerick only led in the 70th minute, and Peter Casey, you know, got 3 fantastic points today. His footwork, his balance, he was lethal when the ball went into him.
Yeah. I think anybody who was probably at the game today or anybody who was watching will have noticed the conditions probably didn't help, Anthony, but the refereeing, a lot of people felt it was a bit stop-start as well.
Yes, definitely stop-start. I suppose 31 frees in a 70-minute, like last year we had 20 extra minutes and there was only 25. Maybe people, you know, story of the penalties, I suppose. And Brendan is on co-commentary here and he's kind of adamant that Kyle did concede. Why Kyle is back there is hard to know. And James is fairly near it and he puts out the hands nearly straight away to say penalty, I'm sure. And you see it here, like, no, Brian Hayes is probably leaning in as well. They're good at it. They know it's an art form. But here, Burns had been fouled and this is equivalent. Like, again, does Niall O'Leary pull down Shane O'Brien? It's the last angle, you'll say, the arm is wrapped around. O'Brien is involved away. James is a good bit further away there now. So can Limerick feel aggrieved on that occasion? I think they can. Like, look at the arm, the pull down. So I think either no penalty or 2 penalties on that occasion.
Yeah, I agree with that. And even, you know, the players kind of sensed that from the referee, that he was kind of given frees for very little, and players started looking for frees later on in the game as well. And you could even see here 2 boys tussle for the ball. They were doing it the whole match, but it actually cost Sean O'Donoghue getting taken off after, because he was on a yellow, and that's another free. So they kind of had to take him off with the risk of probably giving away another foul and getting sent off. So the players adjusted, I suppose, to the referee's decisions and kind of looked for handy frees as well.
Is it difficult, though? Because, you know, as Anthony says, 25 last year, including extra time, 31 today, it's a lot. Is it too pernickety, or is it being these are technical fouls and they need to be pulled?
No, I think there was too many frees probably blown today. It was hard to really get a flow of the game. When you think of last year's game, you know, the ball was in play for what seemed minutes on end, like, you know, back and forth. But today the ball was like dead for a long periods. It was well fought for when the ball was in play, I suppose, but there was just too much stop-start and nobody could really get into a flow, like, and that's why there was probably so little scores as well.
And I don't think he allowed for the conditions as well. You know, the conditions were difficult today. There is going to be maybe some slipping and sliding, and it was too fussy overall, and that's probably where the frustration from both teams led to.
Yeah, because look, I think a lot of people tonight will be saying, OK, listen, there's a bit of that, but in a Munster hurling final, we're still going to get some of those moments that people sit up in their chair and say, this was absolutely class.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't the best match to probably look at, I suppose, but within the game in tough conditions, like, there was some magic moments. You see Rob here, I nearly fell off the seat today looking at this.
You'll hear about that one.
You know, and he'll be telling us about that now for the year as well. But there was plenty of it, you know. Even this one, started the second half, a good move by Limerick. Good hands, ball soaking wet, you know, very hard handling conditions. You know, great score over the Morrissey, and throughout the game there was moments like this, I suppose, happened. You know, Dudgy coming onto the wall. Dudgy was unbelievable today as well. Seems like back to full fitness.
The runs of the 2 boys here, I mean, to smell, like in Cork, I really like this Cork team, watching them. They're so attack-minded. The runs, the ball from Coleman here. Tommy O'Connell, you know, slips it inside to Hayes. Is he fouled? I don't know, but I think he caught Nicky by surprise by on his backside, put the ball in the back of the net, and like, look, the flick here, like, from Hago. When he went inside, he was so effective. And Peter Casey, as Ursula touched on at the finishing of the game, defeated the men, and you know, that's trademark Peter Casey. And we got so many great moments, both sides. Like, you know, I think they gave us a very memorable Munster final yet again.
But it's hard to believe that after Brian Hayes' goal on the 38th minute, Cork failed to score from play. All the remaining scores of the second half was, you know, from free taken. So that's a concern.
I would have thought that that's a concern, surely, for Cork.
Slightly, but I suppose you look at the Cork team, what are their strengths going into this game today, I suppose, is their legs. their fitness, I'd imagine, and like with the game being stopped for so long, it was really hard for them. Like they want the ball up, down, wear out the Limerick legs if possible, and use their strength, but they never really got a chance to do that and build on any momentum, I suppose. And yeah, that kind of came from the game being stopped so much, and that wind as well. And it got worse in the second half, as we say. The rain came with it. Really hard to shoot against it, and that was probably a reason for it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching tonight who are still probably only drying off. One other thing, Anthony, that was just a statement of this game. You see when Nicky Quaid is getting man of the match, Patrick Collins equally could have been in the conversation. Some of these saves were outrageous. Yeah, and like it's gas when you see. If Cork had got over the line, Patrick would definitely be a major contender for man of the match. I think himself and Tim O'Mahony were probably outstanding. But here, I suppose you would expect him with his near post here, but he does really well, Shane O'Brien. But like this one here is just an incredible reflex moment. Adam English, such an impact off the bench. To Hegarty, one touch, doesn't take in the hand. The bravery as well, I'll give him, to come off his line there.
And what can we say about, Nicky Quaid? How many times have we seen him, so manfully stand up to that? And he's so alert, so agile, just shy of 37 years of age. But look at this for reflexes, awareness, Healy, hits it, such a powerful shot. It was a nice height, but, again, Nicky Quaid fully deserving a man of the match. He's 8th Munster medal, as I said, pushing on 37 years of age and still rolling back the years. Yeah, 8 for him and for David Reedy. That's some going, isn't it? Yeah, he's been some servant, and I see up there now in the equation as the greatest Coolbara of all time. He really has to be. Yeah, he's got to be in the chat. What about the greatest, I guess, teams and all that in terms of where Limerick can go? Because they'll have their eyes on this All-Ireland title as well. I'm sure Cork will want to feel that they've got a shout too. They all will. I suppose from a Cork point of view, it was good to see Dudsey back, like I said there a while ago. They'll have their captain back, I suppose, for the All-Ireland series, which is a major boost for them as well. There's a lot of things, yes, they could work on today as well, but overall, I think they'll be happy with the effort they showed for the day, and it's still there's plenty of hurling to be played yet, and I'm sure we'll see them near the end of the championship as well. Setback for Cork? A slight one, yeah, but a lot of people did say coming into the game that maybe the easier route was to lose. So now nobody tried to lose. I will totally testify after watching the Witness and what they went through. But yeah, you would expect that they would get over their quarter-final. Offaly have really improved. And then Galway were good now yesterday, so that, look, Clare and Dublin are in the equation. Are these two very far ahead of the posse? You wouldn't know in today's game, conditions were so bad, but at the same time, could this 5th incredible meeting in the 1 year unfold? Maybe it will. One last word on Limerick. One thing that I did notice today was John Kiley, Paul Kinnerk at the end of the game. It still means as much as the first one did. That's it. They definitely, and I think it's brilliant to see that they celebrate, they enjoy it. You don't win Munster titles easy. They've built on their league success, and they showed every bit of enjoyment today as when they won their first. Yep, they certainly did. All right, well, the heavyweights entered the fray this weekend in the Camogie Championship as Group 1 got underway with a repeat of last year's All-Ireland final between Galway and Cork. Valerie Wheeler reports.
Galway welcomed Cork to Kenny Páirc in a repeat of last year's All-Ireland final. After falling short in their bid for 3 consecutive titles last season, Cork made a blistering start and took full advantage of a strong breeze, Laura Hayes opening the scoring after just 2 minutes. The Rebels continued to dictate proceedings and Galway needed a response in a Kemptham 2-time Player of the Year, Aoife Donoghue, whose point reduced the deficit to 5 and briefly lifted the hosts. But Cork remained firmly in control. Amy O'Connor, Ava Fitzgerald and Circa McCartan all added their names to the score sheet. Laura Hayes then landed the final score of the half to cap an impressive opening 30 minutes. It was 13 points to 4 at the break. Galway tried their best to get back into the action. Niamh McPeak provided the score for the tribeswomen after the restart, narrowing the gap to 9 points and giving the home support something to cheer about. Cork, however, always looked the more dangerous side. They created a number of clear goal-scoring opportunities throughout the second half, but were unable to convert them. But they still kept the scoreboard ticking over, with Orla Cahalan adding another to maintain their comfortable cushion. As the game moved into stoppage time, Galway were handed a late lifeline when Ailish O'Reilly found the back of the net to cut the deficit to 6 points. But with time running out, the comeback came too late to trouble the visitors. Cork opened their Glendemblick's All-Ireland Championship campaign with an impressive win. Full-time score, Galway 1-8, Cork 18 points.
Well, the other game in Group 1 today saw Waterford beat Tipperary 16 points to 110, and in Group 2, Kilkenny 5-15 to 3-9 winners against Offaly. Clare had a 113 to 11 point win against Limerick, while Dublin beat Wexford 118 to 8 points. I think even looking at that, Ursula, felt like a statement win by Cork, that one.
Yeah, you know, they showed everyone they're not gone away yet, despite, you know, missing some big names and big players. And they're probably in a bit of transition with some of the younger girls, but no one probably expected that win yesterday based on their league and Munster championship performances. But they're still going to be thereabouts come the business end of the championship.
The other story of the championship, I know the man beside you was smiling earlier, but Clare going really well.
Yeah, they're building on their league success and they're unbeaten and they're pretty much guaranteed a quarter-final place now, and they'll be looking to build on last year's quarter-final appearance, and they're looking really strong, a really solid team, and they're building nicely coming into the championship now, so they seem to be the team of Group 2.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on that as it goes. All right, time for us to take a quick break, but don't go away because we've got highlights from last night's Leinster hurling final on the way next.
Ayr, proud sponsors of the GAA Hurling All-Ireland Senior Championship.
There's been a murder in the US Embassy. Hannah, I need you. Yes, Mom.
Let's get one thing clear. I'm running things, and you answer to me.
Feel better? If we don't find the killer soon, anyone could be next. Put the embassy on immediate lockdown.
The clock is literally ticking.
Someone is helping him. There's no way out of this.
Red Eye, streaming now on RTE Player.
All right then, I buy my mum a new house.
A house? You can buy her an island, pal.
Yeah, fly the whole family in.
What if we just kept driving?
Hey, what are you doing?
Think about it. This is everything we've ever dreamed of.
Vehicle 15, you are off route.
I'm gonna answer that.
Vehicle 15, respond immediately.
All right, you've had your fun. Come on. Stop. Turn around. Sean, what are you doing? This is the road out of town. You know what's going to happen if you do this.
You better get those passports up to date. What do we always say?
50-50.
50-50. Control. Package delivered.
I know it.
The National Lottery. It could be you.
Il cuore matto che ti segue ancora. Che tu vuoi bene a un altro e non a me. Cuore matto, matto da legare. Che crede ancora che tu pensi a me. Non è convinto che sei andata.
Peter Moretti. Enjoy life's simple pleasures.
I'm such a chill customer. I get 14 insurers compared for me every year.
I'm such a chill customer. I don't mind when my mother-in-law compares me to John's ex.
Ever wondered how Aldi's award-winning buffalo mozzarella is such good value? Do they get the mozzarella mafia involved? Wow, where did that come from? Do they buy fake buffalo? Obviously not. Could they milk a... What is wrong with you? No, they just asked Johnny Lynch, a buffalo farmer from down the road. Why go all the way to Italy when West Cork dairy rules? Aldi. It's not complicated.
I know how a serial killer works.
I would never have guessed it.
That's so evil.
The deed has been done.
Nothing will ever be the same.
The Traitors, UK, US and Australia. Streaming now on RTE Player.
Have you room for one more, lad?
Welcome back. Now to the Leinster hurling final, where Galway and Dublin came face-to-face in Croke Park. It was only their second ever meeting in a provincial final, the last one back in 2013, in what turned out to be a memorable day for the Dubs.
1961 was the last time Dublin won the Leinster Championship. This is history. Oh. Number 2! Dublin are the Leinster champions.
And the game is on, and Tiernan Killeen has it for Galway. Conor Whelan drifting out the field. First shot in the opening seconds, and he has scored. Brilliant start for Galway and Whelan.
Yeah, lovely ball there, and Conor Whelan loads of time, way too much time on the ball. Great score.
So Dublin haven't been down here at all, but now that's about to change. Heatherton had space on Burke, loves that one over his right shoulder, looks really, really, really good, and he started and picked up where he left off from the last day. He's in massive form.
Yeah, I love his enthusiasm there. He's looking for the ball all the time, even since the game started. The hand is up the whole time.
That was Nyland's catch in the middle of the field. Tom Monaghan off his left side, and he's looking anxiously after that, but he needn't have worried. Tom Monaghan, 3-1.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. Joe Candy mentioned there before the game, the last couple of games he's been on fire.
Oh, there's a mistake back there by Paddy Smith, and Conor Whelan puts the ball in. They're in. Here is Rory Burke. Burke, will he back himself? No, it's a certain goal for Darren Neary. Rory Burke was selfless, really. He could have taken it on himself. Neary ran with him, mirrored his run all the way through. Galway have their goal, and look at the scoreboard now. Now it's launched long towards John Heatherton. Cathal Mannion's there with him. Heatherton through. Heatherton! What a stop! Brilliant stop by Fahy. Heatherton was about to wheel away. He thought he'd scored. Most people inside Croke Park did. Great save by Derek Fahy. This is Chris Crummy. He's been doing a lot of work off the ball. Late goal against Galway in 2019, which is an important score. Now, this is a big shot on the way, and it's converted by Brendan Kenny. Late addition to the Dublin team. Point number 4, their first in 7 minutes.
Yeah, it broke lovely for him, but he had the confidence to go for it.
But Galway make it messy around the middle of the field, and here is Hayes, and this is what he wants to do, and it's what he's absolutely brilliant at. There is some space in around the back. Conor Burke takes on the shot. That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Great amount of work done there by Brian Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes did well. He lost it, he won it back. He gave a lovely hand pass off the wrong hand there into Conor Burke, and we've seen him doing that so often.
Liam Rush. Now, they've opened up space down here. Connolly O'Rian, as Ronan Glennon's out of the game. O'Rian missed a chance a couple of minutes ago. Goes for goal, he's got it! Connolly O'Rian! Now they've arrived in the Leinster final, and that's a fantastic finish. They're just a point behind.
But look at this confidence from a young player. Cathal Mannion between him and the goals. Will I tap it over? No, I won't. I'll bury it in the roof of the net in the Leinster final. His first Leinster final, what a goal.
Oh, that was absolutely brilliant by Darren Morrissey. Tiernan Killeen gave him a dig out as well. Now, Galway find some space. Tom Monaghan. That's a really nice finish from Tom Monaghan. And again, the Dublin backs, if they switch off for half a second, you're gone. This is a long way from being done with just 3 points between them. What a delivery that was. Absolutely glorious. The shot on the way, and it's a wonderful finish, but the assist was absolutely ridiculous. Ronan Glennon with the point.
Ronan Glennon put his hand up. He made the run in behind, wasn't followed, and a brilliant ball by Mannion. Straight to his hand, a lovely score.
Fergal Whiteley, Tiernan Killeen there with him. Whiteley, well, there wasn't much of a gap, a brilliant bit of improvisation. Brendan Kenny, the shot on the way. It hangs up there, and it's a brilliant score from Brendan Kenny, his second.
And you can see why he's on the team. You know, he's obviously going well in training. We haven't seen him during the year. Lovely finish.
Tom Monaghan is free, and Conor Whelan is free. And this is just shooting practice, and Dublin were far too loose at the back, and that's just not going to do. Galway delighted with the space they got.
Yeah, that's challenge match stuff, Derek. Look at the room he has here. Lovely ball by Tom Monaghan in fairness, but nobody near Conor Whelan. That's his fourth from play. He's having a great game.
Cathal Mannion. He's capable, and he's just done it. You're just thinking, yeah, he's touched the air in delight, and why not? That's beautiful.
Look at this. Ronan Glennon just back on the field.
Back on the field, so maybe this was part of a really clever ploy for Ronan Glennon, and it's worked a treat. He just came on the field. He was spotted by the goalkeeper. Nothing wrong with that. It's brilliant. 7 points the lead. Sean Curry's going to come in for Dublin. Conor Whelan, middle of the field. Tiernan Killeen, right down the middle, and it's another fantastic score. Everything they touch just turns to a score.
That was Conor Whelan with the assist again. You know, he's been everywhere. He scored 4 from play, but the amount of tackles, he has the power to break the tackle. See the way he gave away that pass. A lot of lads would lose the ball there, not him. And Killeen just off the shoulder.
Fergal Whiteley, and Whiteley gets going, and Brian Hayes has now got ahead of it. Hayes lets the ball off. Opportunity knocks. Here come Dublin. They need a score from somewhere.
He's definitely pulled down.
Yeah. It's penalty. Black card penalty. Conor Whelan. So the penalty is upcoming. Donal Burke for Dublin scores the penalty. Maybe that's it. 15 minutes left.
That's an absolutely super penalty.
Well, they've hung in there. Galway just keeping them, what's that phrase, at arm's length. But now they're going to have to work for it. Joshua Ryan. Oh, and Ryan is caught by Conor McHugh, and the Galway players not at all happy with that challenge.
This could be a red.
You're going red, okay.
Yeah, I think the head-high tackle, we've heard a lot of talk about it.
It's a yellow for Conor McHugh. Cathal Mannion has been superb. Now Conor Cooney gets in around the back. O'Donnell out of the game. Cooney can finish it now for Galway. Is the Leinster title on the way? And that's a penalty. It's a penalty. It's a Galway penalty. And Nyland scores. Left hand goes up in the air in delight. He's had a big game. Darren Neary is recovered from that knock. Aaron Nyland. And now Tom Monaghan. And Monaghan, well, Jason Rabbit is screaming for it. It's actually Conor Cooney. Cooney is through. Will they lose another player? Cooney with the goal.
And that's been their Achilles heel since the start of the game. Too much room. Conor Cooney shows his power there, his strength.
So Donal Burke just trying to set up a goal-scoring chance to take the bleak look off the scoreline, and that's Conor O'Rian with his second goal, but it's too little too late. Hayes went at that full stretch. Here they're in. It's champagne hurling. And it's a lovely finish from John Fleming. He enjoyed that. Sean Curry, the year not over for Dublin, but this will certainly sting. Having beaten Kilkenny the last day, Heatherton had missed him. There's another goal. Fergal Whiteley. It's too little too late. It's just going end to end, goal, this goal.
Yeah, it's just gone very sloppy, but Fergal Whiteley, I have to say, what a goal. That super finish to double on the ball first time, but that's the final whistle. And Darragh, really not much more we can say except that, you know, very comprehensive win by Galway.
Full-time score in the Leinster final. Galway champions, beating Dublin by 429 to 415. Galway are Leinster champions for the 4th time.
It was our number one target, our number one aim to get back to a Leinster final and obviously win it. Coming into it, the build-up, I've probably never been involved in a game where we had so many injuries coming into a game, and you know, in fairness to the lads, to a man, they were absolutely brilliant today. And I think when you come to a final, ultimately you want the biggest performance, and you know, if we reflect back on last year, we were really disappointed that we didn't give the performance that we wanted to bring, and I thought today we did.
Really disappointed for the lads mainly. Well done to Galway. Listen, the better team won the game unquestionably. We've no complaints. Hard to analyse it at the minute. They certainly seem to create a lot of scoring opportunities from going through. Kind of off the shoulder, they worked the ball well. We struggled to cope with that. I thought we had a couple of goal opportunities that could have kept us in the game, given us a lifeline. But overall, the better team won certainly. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people probably agree with that, and well done to Galway, because that's minor, under 20 and senior success for them at Leinster level. Was that their most impressive performance of the year?
Yeah, of course. Up until last night, I suppose, they'd been kind of dipping from the performances they showed late in the league and early championship, and last night they really sent out a statement to say they're back as contenders, I suppose. They weren't that impressive their last couple of games in Leinster, but they were really impressive last night.
They got a lot of things right, Anthony. One of them was their setup on Dublin's poke-out.
Yeah, 100%, Jackie. They learned a lot, I'd say, and studied a lot. And they shoved up. They didn't really give Eddie Gibbons a massive amount to go to short unless it was risky. But then they flooded back. They raced back all bar Jason Rabbit early on, and they managed to isolate one-on-one. It was mostly Paddy Smith. It's Conor McEwen picture there, or Paddy Doyle there, and I would have liked if it was Paddy Doyle more. But again, here we see, you know, they're reading the puck outs and they're attacking them, and they got massive joy from that. Aaron Nyland intercepting there. Again, they're flooding, you know, they're racing back the wing forwards, centre forwards. Carl Mannion is obviously, we'll get to him, but he's back sitting beside Killian Trayers. Here's a great example, like Tiernan Killeen's a good hurler, he could play anywhere in that field, but he's back. All they have to do is get Darren Marcy just gets a hurley to it. Dubs get frustrated, they start trying to shove out the field, work the play. They're 7-3 down here. Now, this is a poor enough mistake, but Whelan is alert. He was very good yesterday, and look at this inside. When he looks up, he can't believe it. Rory Burke, to misfortune, the hamstring went again after this, but he picked out Darren Neary, and it's 1-7 to 3 points they were chasing. They did get back in slightly, but that set the tone for the game. They had their homework done, and Micheál, he's very clever, and of course he knows the Dublin thing inside out. He had a lot to do with putting together that team.
Yeah, and look, they got all that right, but in some ways Dublin probably handed that to them, Ursula. They were a bit aimless at times as well.
Without a doubt, you know, they were probably going the same approach that they did in Salt Hill, you know, went long and direct into the big men on the edge of the square, but unfortunately yesterday evening that just didn't work, and it was very aimless at times. And you can see here, you know, Conor McHugh has all the time in the world, but it's an aimless ball in on top of Galway, and Galway defensively, they're very strong in the air. Killian Trayer is very comfortable under the high ball. Same McKean Daniels, you know, working back in defence. Páirc, Mannion, Daithí Burke, these guys, you know, given the ball like that, they will win it, you know, 50-50 battle. And Galway had the players in on the breaks, and they suffocated Dublin in the attack, and they just weren't reaping any benefits from it. And again, Galway are just so comfortable in possession. But again, it wasn't going deep enough into the full forward line. You know, it never seemed to go to Hedgehoe in the air. You know, it was just the same thing over and over. Where was the plan B? To me, it was non-existent yesterday, and Galway just cleaned up time and time again. Far too easy, and Dublin really didn't change their tactics for the whole game, and that's why they just didn't benefit from that kind of ball, and they played into Galway's hands.
Yeah, we talk about some of the key performers all the time, and even when we were chatting off air, you were saying about Carl Mannion, he's just back to his very, very best again.
Yeah, we've heard of stonemasons. I'd call this flesh Schlitter Mason. He's just too good. You just, and for going forward for an All-Ireland semi-final, whoever they meet, he's too good. He played really deep. Sometimes, you know, the lads on with me yesterday are a bit critical that he was too deep. I just think he's so good on the ball. Micheál has recognised that. Get him on as much ball as you can, and he'll make things happen. And he's just available most of the time. We'll see later on, he didn't defend the goal maybe as much as we'd like, but I mean, his use of possession is fabulous, and he hadn't really hit the form of last year. Now, this might have been a free, but look at the effort he's making to get back. Gets back, like, not awarded, but he's the man that's there in the defensive zone. He was playing like a sweeper in lots of ways, but I mean, he can do so much damage with the ball here. He's just aware here, he's way out, but can I get it over onto my right? That's a savage score. He's a array of skills. We might have lost Joe Canning from the game, but this guy has really stepped up. You see, this is Joe-esque as well, isn't it? It's like a fade in the golf shot. And like, Dublin allowed him I think for the semi-final, some crowd are going to just have to get a handle on. Look at the space here. Brian Hayes trying to close down. It's too late. Again, ball to Neary. Neary's choice to be played was inspired because he brought another layer of pace and finished it. But for me, Cahill, he was my man of the match. I was outvoted yesterday.
You're still bitter about it.
By 2 free takers.
Well, he did well, that's for sure. If they are going to be contenders, though, Patrick, there's still a little work to be done.
Yeah, there's just a couple of things, like, you know, their full-back, Killian Trayers, got a ball at one stage and he came out of the fence, running up the field. You can see it here. Didn't really look comfortable, needed someone to come to him. He had someone in his midfielder coming looking for the ball. They all want the ball, of course, like they're great stick men. But as soon as it goes wide, Dublin can get the ball away quick. They got a short one, the very few short ones they got. And for probably once in the first half, they actually walked the ball well. And it ended up at Liam Rush's hand, gave a great ball up the line. And from there, you see the Killian Trayers, he's out midfield, can't be comfortable there, and behind him you have Cahill Mannion, who I would have said he probably shouldn't be back there playing full back, but he is, and it's a goal for Dublin, a very important one, and it brought him straight back into the game.
Conor Loreen must have been saying, would you give me a few more of those balls, lads? Because some of the ones, as Ursula pointed out, like, there's no doubt Mannion should have committed to the tackle earlier there, but I mean, great finish by Loreen. He was a bright spark, you know, right through the end of their latter part of their campaign and on into the Clare game. He has been good.
Yeah.
And you would have expected actually for him to actually give the ball to his midfielder at time, because that's their game. The shorter the better, kind of, it seems, and they're really good at it. So I think they should probably keep playing to their strengths, like if they want to be beating the likes of Limerick and Cork even.
What about Dublin, though? Do you feel, Anthony, that there's something that they can do to tidy that kind of stuff up to bring themselves back into the conversation?
Yeah, I actually thought, you know, from that puck out thing I pointed out at the start. Now, we were talking about this earlier on, and Brian Hayes, you thought should have been further forward. I thought maybe he should have played more of a Mannion role. Back there, conducting the traffic, and the pace of him, sure, 4 goals, 29, is just too much to concede. I think if he was there for cover like he was against Kilkenny, they might have got more joy out of that. But he did drive forward and set up a few lovely scores for Conor Burke. And I mean, he's unstoppable going forward, but I think as extra cover defensively, he would give you more. I mean, they've had a decent year. You know, they're promoted, they got to the Leinster final, they're still there, they'll take on Clare. The 2 league matches against Clare were very close.
The big thing for me now is the injuries with Dublin. You know, they've only 2 weeks to get ready for that Clare game. You know, Liam Rush, Crummy, Brendan Kenny, Keane O'Sullivan, these are all big players, and they've got very little time now to rest and recover for such a huge game in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, there was knockout football too this weekend in the Tailteann Cup with the preliminary quarter-finals. Cahill and Valerie wrap up the action from Longford's clash with Down, Leitrim against Wexford, and Sligo's trip to London.
The hosts played with the aid of a strong breeze in the opening half in Royslip, where Sligo were hoping to build on their win over Waterford in the last round. London enjoyed the better of the early exchanges, though. This score from Shea Rafter established a 4-2 lead. Sligo gradually warmed to their task, and they opened up a 6-4 lead as half-time approached. This nice move involved Niall Murphy and Cianis Mulligan, and it ended with Shane Duignan scoring a nice point. London, who lost to Mayo in the Connacht Championship, finished the half strongly, however, with Shea Rafter almost netting a goal. The point, though, meant Sligo took in a 7-6 advantage at the break. Sligo got off to a positive start in the second half and hit the game's first goal shortly after the resumption. Midfielder Gavin Gorman found himself unmarked and palmed the ball to the net to give Sligo some breathing room. The Aids County are in their first year under joint managers Desi Sloyne and Eamon O'Hara, and they hit a second goal 5 minutes after Gorman's first with this effort. Returning defender Eddie McGuinness was involved in the build-up before Luke Towie's shot was fisted home by Cianis Mulligan. London found themselves 8 points behind after Sligo's second goal, but they battled hard to stay in the game. This fine score from midfielder Liam Gallagher made it 2-12 to 13 points in favour of the visitors as the game entered the closing stages. Sligo rounded the game off nicely, and their final point was one of the best of the match. Under-20 captain Conor Walsh, who was making his senior debut, started and finished the move to help Sligo book their place in the quarter-final draw. It finished London 16 points, Sligo 2-16.
Leitrim welcomed Wexford to Carrick on Shannon, but it was the visitors who made the perfect start, getting a point on the scoreboard after 30 seconds. They doubled their advantage when Páirc Hughes found Niall Hughes, who calmly split the post to make it 2 points to no score. Wexford continued to dominate. A well-worked move involving Mark Roster found Owen Nolan in space. He converted Wexford's first 2 points from play as they surged into a 7-point lead. They showed no signs of slowing down. Glenn Malone added another as Leitrim were held scoreless throughout the opening half. By the interval, Wexford had rattled off 14 unanswered points. Leitrim emerged after the restart looking like a different side, with Oisin McLaughlin leading the charge and landing impressive 2-pointers to spark hopes of a comeback. The contest then boiled over as both sides were reduced to 14 men following an off-the-ball incident. After a tussle on the ground, Wexford's Liam Coleman received a black card to add to an earlier yellow, resulting in a red, while Leitrim's Conor Quinn was shown a straight red as tempers flared. With just 3 minutes remaining, Leitrim were handed a lifeline. Substitute Jack Kelly, who had made a significant impact after his introduction, saw his initial shot saved by Brooks. However, a free was awarded for a pullback in the aftermath, and Kelly made no mistake, firing to the net to cut the deficit to 4 points. But they left the comeback too late, and Wexford's first half display had done enough to secure victory. Leitrim won 12, Wexford 20 points.
Coming into the game off the back of a defeat to Offaly last time out, Down got off to a promising start with a goal inside the first 10 minutes. Eamon Brown was on hand to fire his side into an early lead. Longford, who lost to Carlow in this year's Division 4 League final, responded very well, and this nicely taken point from Peter Lynn made it 1-2 to 2 points. Down were enjoying a lot of possession, but they failed to make it count, going 15 minutes without a score before Patrick Brooks took on the responsibility and netted a brilliant individual goal to send his side 5 points in front. Longford began to regain a foothold as half-time approached, and this score from Paddy Moran helped them stay in touch, but by the break, Down had established a 2-8 to 7 points advantage. The visitors got off to a flying start in the second half, with the goal within a minute of the resumption. Ryan McGill was on hand to palm the ball to the net and send his team 10 points in front. Longford managed to hit back with 2 points on the bounce, with both coming from the boot of corner forward Oran Kenny. The result was put well beyond doubt by Down's fourth goal just 8 minutes into the second half, when Rory O'Hare made no mistake when presented with the opportunity to open up a 13-point gap between the sides. Longford faced an uphill battle but continued to try and close the deficit, with Desi Reynolds making an impact off the bench. He managed to scramble the ball over the line here to give Longford a goal 10 minutes from time. But Down were always in firm control and finished as 4-18 to 1-15 winners to book their spot in the quarter-finals.
Time for us to take a quick break. Back in a few minutes with highlights from the Joe McDonagh Cup.
Eyes on this lizard, Dickie! That fella is the reason they made me yellow.
Where there's hurling, there's Centra.
Can they believe? That's the question now, Darren.
Listen to the roar. Strap yourself in. Messi scores. Argentina lead. Here's Mbappe. Chasing destiny, chasing history. I don't believe it. More drama. Can we possibly take any more?
You're unbelievable.
Jeff?
Enjoy 2 years of 3 5G home broadband from only €25 a month. Just plug it in and you're good to go.
Il cuore matto che ti segue ancora. Che tu vuoi bene a un'altra e non a me. Cuore matto, matto dalle gare. Che crede ancora che tu pensi a me. Non è
Moretti. Enjoy life's simple pleasures.
Leave it, boy. It's been an hour and a half lifting a stone. It is an Irish tradition.
What can you do in hands-free Skechers slip-ins? Just step in and work. Just step in and work out. Just step in and golf. Comfort, style, ease. All hands-free with Skechers slip-ins. Just step in and do it all. Go hands-free with Skechers slip-ins.
Thank you for being the first one out. For courageously stepping into unknown territory.
Get the new iPhone 17 at 3 from as little as €3. Jeff, you're blocking the... Yeah, thanks. That's right, from only €3, as well as 3+ rewards like pre-sale codes to Ireland's biggest gigs. Simply switch to 3 today for a better connected life.
Senstein Clinical Repair is absolutely the one I would use. It starts to work within 2 minutes from the very first brush to create an actual layer which helps to repair the sensitive part of the tooth. Iced coffee, ice cream, lots of things could be back on the menu. I really would recommend Senstein Clinical Repair.
Ayr, proud sponsors of the GAA Hurling All-Ireland Senior Championship.
Welcome back. Now to the Joe McDonagh Cup final between Laois and Carlow. Laois looking to make it third time lucky after losing the last 2 finals.
Ball thrown in and away we go, and straight away it is Carlow who get the first possession with Fiachra Fitzpatrick here, sending it in there towards Marty Kavanagh, and Marty Kavanagh fires it over the bar. 10 seconds gone. Good start.
Yeah, some start for the Mouse, Jared. You know, ball straight in from the throw in. That's exactly where he wanted it. That low ball into his hand, and a super score to start him off.
That ball driven away downfield from the puck out, then down there towards Picky Marr. Stephen Picky Marr getting it 45 metres out, got in the reply quickly, and that is some reply. Great point by Stephen Picky Marr.
Even watch him in the warm-up, I haven't seen Stephen look as fit and as agile as that in a long time. Like, he's come back from 2 big significant injuries, so a big game ahead for him today.
Brian Tracy, the Carlow goalkeeper, getting it way downfield, nicely collected inside there by Chris Nolan, the captain. Nolan going forward against 3 Laois defenders, stopped on the goal line this time, under a lot of pressure. It's still not cleared. Ah, what a start this is! A goal by James Doyle, his 4th goal in this year's Joe Mack sequence. 1-1 to a point, and we've only played a minute.
Yeah, look, just in on the edge, like just a real sniper's goal. Ball drops down, Cat just dropped in, but again the keeper will be so disappointed. You know, he'll be so disappointed with that, but the sniper, bang, back in the net.
There's Aidan Corby, and Laois build the next attack. Down to Aaron Dunphy. Dunphy right near the sideline. It's a tricky one, it's an awkward one, but he's got a white flag. Great score by Aaron Dunphy.
Laois's ball in to the forwards is much better at the moment.
Keys leaving it. Picked up in the end, taken away here by Martin Phelan of Laois, getting around the would-be challenge there of Paul Doyle. 45 metres out, and that's a good deal better for Martin Phelan and from Laois. Down there towards Chris Nolan. Picked up here by Donna Murphy. Going forward, Murphy saved on the line. It's gone out for a 65, first of the match. Good play that time by Podge Delaney to help out his goalkeeper, Evan Riley, and make sure there wasn't even further damage done. Jack McCullough, through the centre it comes. Marty Kavanagh, the supplier this time, and he fancies having a go, and he's got it. Landing it from a huge distance out. 4th of the day so far for Marty from St. Mullins. and at 8 points to 1-4.
Yeah, the Mouse going to say, look, if you're not going to give it in to me, I'll come out the field and get it myself and put it over the bar.
Laois go back into the attack again. Aidan Corby trying to get to it, stopped however by Jack McCullough. Retained. Back into the centre to Evan Keeley, and Keeley fires, has a go and scores. Well, the forwards may be missing, but left half back Evan Keeley's just got his 4th point of this year's campaign, playing in his first final, and he's made it 10 points to 1-6, a 1-point game. Owen Riley with the puck out, way downfield. Touchdown well as far as Killian Dunn. Dunn with the striking opportunity, and he avails of every chance that's coming his way. That's 3 points from 3 attempts by Killian Dunn. He's doing extremely well at number 14 for Laois. It's Kieran Whelan trying to race forward, loses his way, loses possession. Carlow able to get it back again into the centre to Jack Tracy. Hasn't scored today, but looking to try and put that right. He's done it. Good start to the second half for Jack Tracy of Ballinkillen.
Yeah, great start for Jack there. Really good strike.
And that puck out down nicely this time, as far as Marty Kavanagh slipped inside to Jack Tracy. Tracy's already scored. He's got another one here. 2 in a row by Jack Tracy in the second half. 15 points to 1-9. 3 between them. Anybody's game still. Nicely collected here by Fiachra Fennell. Fancying it. He scored in the last 2 finals that he has played in, and now he's got another one. Very well done indeed by Fiachra C. Fennell from Rosenallis. First of the day here. He was a massive distance out. 3rd final in a row, and he scored in each and every one of them. Are Laois on the rise? Can Carlow come back? Jack Tracy, they've got time. 20 minutes to go. Slipped back outside here as far as Fiachra Fitzpatrick. Carlow need this. He's got it. Second of the day by Fiachra Fitzpatrick. They're still alive in this match. And this is in as far as Mark Dowling. Leaves it behind, can't get it under control, and that's enough to allow John Nolan to take it. Ooh, straight into Mark Dowling's challenge. Not out of trouble yet. Dowling has won it back. Plays it into the centre, and that's cracked into the back of the net. A goal by Killian Dunn to round off what has been a very, very good afternoon for him. Goal coming in the 54th minute, so it's a goal on 3. It should have been cleared. There were opportunities. The persistence of Mark Dowling, the clinical finishing of Killian Dunn to make it 119 to 114 in the Joe McDonagh Cup final. Ryan Mullaney setting it up here for Fiachra Fennell. In as far as Jack Kelly. Kelly sending it forward towards the goal, and he's got it. Good introduction by Jack Kelly. First points, it's coming on about 2 minutes ago, and he stretches the lead, and Laois are ahead by 5. Back come Carlow. Back comes James Doyle. Slipping it as far as Chris Nolan. Nolan targeting this one. That's a beauty. Some really good quality stuff coming out from time to time, and that's Chris Nolan with an absolute smashing score. And it might work out here nicely. In there it goes to Mark Dowling. Dowling hand passed it inside. In there to Jack Kelly, and Kelly's got a second. It's coming on as sub.
There's some message to Tommy Fitz, isn't it? You come into the field, 2 big scores after what should have been a score for Carlow.
Jack Kelly fed forward by Lee Clear, down into the inside forwards. It comes here. A dashing James Keys gets it, plays it back out to Killian Dunn, looking for another. What an afternoon he's had. What an absolutely brilliant afternoon by Killian Dunn. A goal on 5 now for the full forward, and he's made it 124 to 118. He's had some match.
Oh, what a score out the sideline.
And that last shot there, Jack Kelly celebrating a 3rd point. It gets better and better from the men from Laois.
That's just icing on the cake for Kelly.
They're back here today as victors after 3 years losing the McDonagh Cup final. It's finally come good for Stephen Picky-Marr and the rest. 2 final defeats. Laois win the McDonagh Cup at the 3rd time of asking. It's Laois 127, Carlow 118. Laois are the winners in 2026.
Yeah, it means absolutely everything. We had a bad defeat to them at the start of the year, so I think we probably learned a lot from that game at the start. And yeah, we just kind of got it right today, and it's great to be back and competing in Limerick Carity.
I don't think we actually hurled that well today. It was quite a scrappy game, to be honest with you, and we wouldn't be. I won't look back at it now yet to even the return, but when you do look back, and there was a lot of errors there, a lot of handling errors, but just pure desire, to be honest with you. Like the lads really wanted this, and he was hammering home that message about working hard, and it was fairly basic and fundamental, but I think it showed today. Probably got us over the line, to be honest.
Yeah, Tommy might have felt that they didn't hurl well, but in a lot of ways, Anthony, you felt that they got the setup right.
A lovely, humble interview from Tommy, fair a gent, and has done great work. Yeah, I just thought they were structured better from the get-go. Now, look, if you're Carlow and you pick a full forward line of Mouse, Chris Nolan and James Doyle, you're trying to get it up often, and as often as you can. But look, Laois played Ficra, Culleton, Fennell as a sweeper, and he was outstanding at it. He read the play superbly. He's a very good athlete, and they used the ball that bit better. Like a lovely ball up to Conor Farr's ball up to Ben Conroy. Knew he was being crowded, wheeled back, and Killian Dunn, man of the match display, took their chances when they were the right time, and they were more clinical. Ryan Mullaney here. The score is on here, a little jink and pop over, and they were just way more clinical on the chances that came their way. The use of the ball. Here's Ficra again. Head up, bit high for Jack Kelly. Long time out of the game. What a response from him. 3 great points. And yeah, they structured better, and I think they deserved it. No, as we'll show, Carlow did create quite a bit.
Yeah, they certainly did. But for Laois, I think when the game was in the melting pot, they grabbed it. That's it, yeah. They took their chance and their opportunity, and they were only up 2 points at this stage, and they got the crucial score at the vital time. A brilliant ball in by David Dooley. And Mark Dowling, who made an impression when he came in, took on Dion Wall, and Dion does quite well here to hold him up. John Nolan comes in, and this is when Carlow needed to clear the ball. They should have cleared the ball, but instead they run into trouble. Mark Dowling somehow, with no hurl, manages to hand pass the ball across to Killian Dunn, and he was the right player at the right time. But look, Carlow will really look at this and say they should have cleared their line. They had the bodies there, and John Nolan had the opportunity, we see it there, to clear it out to the wing, out to the side, but instead he goes back in on his own goal, and Laois punished them for that, and that to me kind of kick-started Laois pushing on in the final quarter. That's something that Carlow will really know they could have prevented. It was a preventable goal, and they should have done better. But to be fair, what a whip on the sod by Killian Dunn, and he was the right person to get on the end of the strike. You scored one of those like that yourself as well, as I'm sure you have too. The other thing, Ursula said, look, that's one thing that's in control. The other thing, for anybody who was there yesterday, some of the shooting by Carlow was just something that they're not going to want to remember.
Yeah, you don't see it too often, creating 50 scoring chances and scoring 19 scores. Very low shooting efficiency, but they took the right option, like you see there. That's the right option, to take a shot from there, and they done that throughout. But maybe the distribution to their full line wasn't the best, but most of their shooting chances, they were the right option to do. You see that there, like, it's just one of those days. It wasn't supposed to be. There you were again from inside the 45. You would think they would score probably more than they did miss. They actually ended up having more wides than points. And this, when I see goal chances like this as a forward, I suppose you're just looking at how can you get the angle, better towards the goal. So like if you run infield and draw the man, but I say when Marty runs towards James here and hands him the ball, Laois are already closing in, and the chance is really gone. He still goes for goal. It was never a goal chance though. Yeah, well look, Laois are the ones who took their opportunity. Before we finish off on the hurling, lots of people who I'm sure are hurling fans will have seen there has been a survey going around trying to improve the game. Ursula, you're on the committee and tasked with sorting it all out. What are people saying? What are the main things that are coming from it?
Yeah, I suppose from there was online focus groups held already, and many stakeholders like current players, referees, media personnel gave their kind of feedback on where the state of hurling is, discussions around the current hurling rules, and I suppose based on that we've created a survey. And I suppose some of the main kind of issues coming up so far is kind of the hand pass, inconsistent refereeing, steps for an over-carrying, and possibly the puck outs not allowing to, they have to go past the 45. So these are kind of the issues that are coming up. Hurling doesn't need a major revamp like football, but if there's certain tweaks, and we saw maybe frustrations today around refereeing or maybe hand passing over the last couple of months, those are kind of the issues that are probably standing out at the moment. And I'd encourage anyone that's kind of passionate about hurling and wanting to improve the game, this is your time. You have, an opportunity to raise your concerns. The survey is online. It takes a few minutes to complete, and so far I think there's been over 5,000 usable responses. So it's available online until Thursday morning. And look, I don't think there's going to be major changes, but there might be some tweaks to the game.
What's the thing that's bothering you the most?
There's not a whole pile wrong with hurling. I'd imagine maybe small things like how they're going to the hand pass rule and all that, and how they're going to stop a few throws happening during the game and stuff. But overall, I think hurling's in a good place, and it's a really exciting game, I suppose, and there's not a whole pile to be done.
What about you?
Yeah, there's a few bits and pieces. I think I really admired what they did, the Gaelic Football Committee, and I suppose this is just an effort that we get the best minds, like her good self here, together. John Myler heading it up and top manager, and just see, is there a couple of tweaks we could make, just to improve it as a spectacle for everybody.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see. Let's return then to the Tailteann Cup, and Valerie and Cathal can bring us reports from Fermanagh against New York and Wicklow against Tip.
In difficult weather conditions, Wicklow welcomed Tipperary to Aughrim for their first ever championship meeting between the counties. The hosts made the perfect start as Páirc O'Toole calmly converted. Things got even better for the home side. Shane Garland's kick-out went straight to Kevin Quinn, who surged through on goal. He laid the ball off to Owen Darcy, whose effort was saved, but Quinn was on hand to finish to the net. It took the visitors some time to find their rhythm, but they nearly struck for a goal of their own. Daithí Hogan palmed the ball across to Stephen O'Brien, whose close-range effort looked destined for the net, until Mark Jackson tipped it over the bar instead. Wicklow continued to threaten and came close to a second goal when Páirc O'Toole sliced through the defence, only to see his powerful shot come crashing back off the post. And just before the interval, the visitors finished strong. Paddy Creedon, making his first championship start, produced this excellent score and was won 3-7 points at the break. Tip made the brighter start to the second half, stretching their advantage to 3 points thanks to scores from O'Connor and this excellent score from the boot of Paddy Creedon. However, the momentum quickly swung in Wicklow's favour. Frees from Oshie McGrainer, followed by this point from Kevin Quinn, edged the hosts in front by a single point. Wicklow continued to pile on the pressure, and Kevin Quinn landed a superb 2-pointer to open up a 6-point lead, leaving the scoreboard reading 113-10. But Tip refused to go away. Paddy Creedon showed great strength and skill to spin through the Wicklow defence before firing over his 5th point of the afternoon, cutting the deficit to 4 with just 10 minutes to go. But Wicklow finished strong. A pair of late 2-pointers put the result beyond doubt, the first coming from the influential Kevin Quinn. Before Liam O'Neill added another to cap a memorable victory and send Wicklow into a 3rd consecutive Tailteann Cup quarter-final. Full-time score, Wicklow 117, Tipperary 12 points.
8 weeks on from their Connacht Championship exit at the hands of Roscommon, New York made their Tailteann Cup entrance in Enniskillen, but Fermanagh dominated the early exchanges with this goal from Matty McDermott opening up a 1-1 to 1-point advantage. The next 3 points also went the way of Fermanagh before a 2-pointer from Conor O'Hanlon established an 8-point lead. New York were battling to stay in touch, and their effort received a big boost when Killian Butler fired in a goal to reduce the gap. The goal helped the visitors settle into proceedings, and this 2-pointer from Frank O'Reilly made it 111 to 1-5 as half-time approached. Fermanagh, though, remained well in control with the impressive Ultan Kelm on target here to leave Declan Bonner's side 113 to 1-6 ahead at the break. New York's chances were dealt a further blow when Cian O'Dea was dismissed for a second yellow card early in the second half, and Fermanagh took full advantage with this point from Conor Love, sending the hosts 11 in front. Shortly after, the impressive Frank O'Reilly responded with a sweetly struck 2-pointer free to give New York their first score of the second period, 14 minutes after the resumption. Fermanagh were well in control in the second half. Their second goal came from Aegon Kelm, and then Darragh McGurn got in on the scoring act with a goal of his own to bring Fermanagh's lead to 3-22 to a goal in 9. The game petered out from there, with Fermanagh ending as comfortable 327 to 113 winners.
All right, that's all we have time for tonight. My thanks to Patrick, to Ursula and to Anthony for their company. We're back next Sunday with more from the Football Championship. In the meantime, have a good week and we'll see you